Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Minecraft Monday, week number 5, as we are live here from the UMG studio in the greater St. Louis area. Like we talked about, another week of awesome Minecraft action. Myself, Lando Sanders, as usual, joined in part by Reflections and 9-Hole Grains. Like we talked about, guys, another week of Minecraft, the same games, not the same people necessarily, but some interesting combinations coming into this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, right? Already week 5, crazy to think about, but Minecraft, or at least Minecraft Monday, has been getting better every single week. And I love the fact that we're still bringing in fresh faces and mixing up the teams to kind of make it a little bit more entertaining. But I'm always glad to be here. Nine, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, and like you said, mixing things up every week. It's going to be a new experience. I am happy that we finally get to kind of narrow down what we think these games are going to be. So for us, as well as the players, we know exactly what we can expect, but some new players might make some new changes, at least in the leaderboards.
Sure. Indeed, right? We talked about the leaderboards. How do you earn points? Well, it's based off of the game modes, which you're going to go ahead and see now are 9 game modes of choice. One's not really changed up too much, regardless, though. We've got Hunger Games, the first map for that one will be played on SparkCity, so our first time being able to take a look at that map here in the Hunger Games mode. For Game 2, we'll be headed toward TNT Run, Game 3, Dropper, Game 4, Spleef, Game 5, Battle Arena, Game 6 will be one of our kind of favorites, right? Find the button. That's always an interesting one to watch. Game number 7 will be Run from the Lava. Not too many people managed to successfully run from the lava last week, but it should always be fun. Run it out by Bingo Hunt in Game 8 and Hunger Games for Game 9. That one will be played on Orient. So interesting game modes like we talked, but nothing too much of a change. But Ted, we were given an update actually coming into this broadcast about Spleef.
Yeah, so Spleef, instead of 3 layers like we typically were doing, we're only going to be doing 2 layers to kind of speed things up a little bit. It's going to make it, a lot of fun, I think, and make it more crucial. You got to stay on that top ground, or else if you drop down, you're going to be on the last layer, and we know what happens, right? Your life could be ended very quickly, to say the least.
And one thing that I'm interested in coming into this week 9, and I know we were kind of bringing it up in terms of Spleef, was K-Wire, Speedy, and Sidearms, right? They were the masters at this game mode, last week. Coming into this one, they're not here, unfortunately. That was we were giving them a lot of credit, like, oh my gosh, they're eclipsing the top 5 out of what has kind of been not necessarily the most stellar placements I'd imagine in their book, but the fact that they're not here is kind of unfortunate, I guess you could say.
It is. They'd finally cracked top 8, finishing 7th.
Yeah,
mostly on their Spleef gameplay. So, like you said, not being here is going to be rough for them. We have a lot of the other familiar faces, but Spleef only 2 layers. We talk so much about staying on the top layer can almost always get you in top 5, but now the top layer is going to be within reach of the bottom layer. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see as well. And I'm curious, like you said earlier, will anyone actually outrun the lava this time? Was not to be the case last week, but I have hope. I have faith.
Sprint from lava. Do anything you can to escape from the lava. That's going to be the new kind of forward thought, I guess you could say, when it comes down to that game mode. But let's go and take a look now at our participants list coming in here toward week number 5. Some familiar faces, some new combos, interesting ones to say the least. But that team number 1, kind of have my eyes on that one in specifics. We've got James Charles combining up with Beige and Canadian. Mr. Minecraft now plays with James Charles. He's seen some success, right, in terms of James Charles. He's had some decent placements. Played with Techno last week and had a pretty, interesting showing, that's for sure. But now with Beige and Canadian, what's our thoughts on that duo now together?
I like it. I think Bayesian Canadian's going to bring that experience that we know him to bring. And mind you guys, he's been one of the most consistent players week after week, and it seems as if he only gets better week after week. So James Charles is definitely going to be in good hands. But Techno, like you said, playing with him last week. Vicstar as well coming through and pairing up with James Charles. He's making his rounds, and I like it, and we're going to have to see how Bayesian Canadian is going to pair with him. But it's always good to see a couple of new faces out there. Rage Elixir and Raven coming through. I'm glad to see that duo coming in, and I'm curious how they're going to perform. Now, Jerome and Filza is a team that I want to see them perform well. They've kind of struggled a little bit. Well, Filza being, of course, a great competitor in previous weeks. But I want to see this duo come out on top and do a lot better this week than they have in previous.
I agree, and you want to talk about consistency. Consistency, Team 4, the most consistent team that we've got, Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo. They have finished 2nd place the last 2 weeks, guys. They have been a team that has gotten better and better, always been on the cusp. This week, it has to be their week, right? How many times can you finish 2nd before you finally overcome that That final obstacle.
Well, I keep asking that question too to typical Gamer and Thieves. They consistently keep getting third in Friday Fortnite. So
It's true. It happens.
well, hopefully they'll get better. But
Maybe they can break it.
But talking about Spleef, though, Skeppy, Bad Boy Halo was actually one of the top Spleef players, too, last week. And with, of course, Speedy and Sidearms not being there, they might dominate that game mode.
That's a good point, right? We talked about kind of the new facets to add into things. That could definitely be a team to look out for. One last team before we kind of get off this participation page. I want to take a look at iHas Cupquake and Joey Graceffa. And this is a duo that I actually really hyped for. I actually have watched them before they were in Minecraft Monday. I used to watch iHas Cupquake back like in the early 2010, 2011 days, back like Black Ops 1, those kind of times. Has been like a gaming YouTuber and kind of like a person involved in the community for the longest of times. Back in the Machinima days, for those who can kind of relate back to that one. But along with Joey Graceffa, always fun to watch him play. And they're obviously a long-time duo with each other. So like I said, quite a few teams. And we don't get a chance to visit them all, but just ones that we kind of have our eyes on in terms of this first page. Let's go on quickly. Transfer over now to the next one. Turn the page, if you will, toward the next few bits of teams. As guys, anything kind of stick out? I know one of our I guess you could say one of our eyes have got to be on team number 13, Techno, here now with Call Me Carson.
Of course, right? Anybody that is playing with Techno, you have to be aware of them. Techno being one of the top scorers as of last week when we showed the individual scores. But the team that I'm really focused on, Team 14, Travis and Scoop, these are the winners of Week 3, and we haven't seen them since. They are now back. And mind you, Week 3 is when we transition from just playing 9 or 10 Hunger Game modes to go into the mini game modes. And Travis and Scoop did fairly well then, and they are now returning. So we could see them definitely top 3 this week.
I would agree. And taking a look at Team 16 right there. Top scores in minigames. How about Preston right there last week? The first time back. No rust to be found. The claims that Preston might be rusty, I don't know if that was some deception, some diplomacy, whatever it may be, but the top score in last week, of course, individually and on a team perspective, will be teaming up with Log.Zip, a player that we've seen perform well. Certainly has put up some great scores in some of these games. That's going to be a team to watch out for. Mongrel and Mitro. Prepping for World Cup, we thought. I guess doing it with a little bit of Minecraft. They say variety does make the brain grow stronger, so maybe this is part of it. But guys, XQC and Moxie. Landon, what can we expect from this team?
Oh, honestly, I have no clue what to expect. And that's my favorite part about this duo together is to see exactly how they're going to play. I know there was I know we were kind of talking in the pregame show about how is this team really going to perform when it comes into Minecraft. We talked about XQC especially, right? Has a history in playing a number of different games. Obviously, kind of comes from the Overwatch, kind of community background for the most part. To see him now in Minecraft, I'm really interested to see because we've seen some very talented, major stars kind of make the transition over, and we're like, wow, they're actually very, very good at this game. And there's been some who, we'll not necessarily name any names, but have not really performed up to standard. So I'm curious where XQC is going to kind of be in that overall line side. But like I said, guys, we have a number of different awesome teams to look out for. And even last one that I'm looking at, team number 11, Captain Sparkles and Antvin, I'm looking to see them maybe try and perform a little bit better. I know we've kind of discussed and said, these are kind of the OGs of Minecraft. And they've had some good moments, but in the end, they just haven't really been able to kind of eclipse that top 5. Like, they're not really in that discussion. And I'm curious to see, and maybe what you guys think for them, what could lead to that, conversation? Is it about trying to prefer yourself in the Hunger Games, the PvP modes, or is it more of trying to specialize yourself when it comes down to, the regular, parkour maps, if you will, the little extra mini games? Because we've always had this conversation of which one should you practice for more? What are you going to kind of benefit more from? Is it going to be the mass amount of mini games that we have, or is it PvP?
I mean, PvP, you could get a massive amount of, points from that alone, right? And when we're talking about 250 potentially, we've seen Techno come through and get that many amount of points. But I think the mini games, you have to put a precedence on that, right? TNT Run, Spleef, Run from Lava, right? These are things that can accumulate a ton of points by just surviving. We're talking about 18 teams, so you could, theoretically be getting up to 30 points per game in these game modes. So these are games you need to be prioritizing and really focusing on. And when it comes to Ant, Victim, and Captain Sparkles, that's a team that was your sleeper team whenever they first started competing together, and they just haven't had, really the success we thought they would have. I want to see them perform better. I want to see them break that top 5 because I know they can. Yeah,
and in your eyes, I mean, and in terms of looking at this kind of stigma that a few of these rosters have, 9, like what do they really need to do in order to improve? Is it focusing on the Hunger Games side of things, the PvP world, or is it a matter of just practicing your Run from Lavas, your TNT runs, if you will?
Well, as Taylor was saying, there are definitely some game modes that get more points.
Yeah.
Spleef, TNT, and all of the PvP modes in particular, those are the ones that build up the points. I mean, we saw, like you were saying earlier, Sidearms and Speedy getting 6th place last week almost single-handedly based on their Spleef gameplay, and it's because you can essentially double whatever points you get if you're both still around at the end of one of those. So I think what they have to do is just try to minimize the disaster as it goes through. Stay alive as long as you can to double the points for your team and put a precedent on those specific modes that's going to get you the most points. And honestly, I believe, was it week 3? They did decent. I think they almost got 2 top 5 in week 3 when it was mini games. So
they did, yeah.
They at least know these mini games. It's just going to be a matter of them minimizing disaster. And with all these new faces, all these new players, I think there's going to be a little spice in the mix today. As long as they keep nice and steady, they might find themselves benefiting from that.
Okay, I'm kind of interested, right? Like I said, we kind of had that conversation week after week. Like, what really is the difference maker? How can you really start to kind of, rise throughout the ranks? We'll have some game modes where teams dominate, but they don't really overall kind of raise in the standings. You got to be very careful when it comes down to those. As you know, we're taking a look at a few replays. If you're just joining us, the stream, the broadcast, the games have not officially started. We're just revisiting some of the greatest moments from weeks previously. But like we said, feel free to let us know on social media. Make sure to be using the hashtag #MinecraftMoney. Get involved in the chat. Let us know who is your sleeper team coming into this week, because I'm asking the chat, because I'm getting ready to ask these guys, what is your sleeper team? What are rosters that you're looking at? We've had a few different compositions be formed this week, rosters that we are looking out for, ones that we got to be keeping in mind. Like I said, guys, I know we have some kind of new teams up in the mix, and I'll go and start off with my personal sleeper team coming into this one that does not include any previous champions or anything along those lines. Actually, a new duo, Rage Elixir and Raven. I'm looking out for these guys. Very, very talented. I know they kind of come from obviously the Minecraft space. I'm actually a huge fan of Raven's videos. I didn't actually realize this until this morning when I was looking up his YouTube channel. I had been watching like a ton of his videos whenever he's like trying to raid the bases, when it comes down to like PvP modes or faction servers and stuff like that. And he'd have like these crazy titles of like, managed to somehow sneak inside the biggest base in Minecraft faction history. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty interesting. So I found myself kind of on a rabbit trail a few months ago, kind of to find out that this is actually one of my favorite YouTubers that's actually in the tournament. So I'm going to be kind of with this team, maybe just off a little bit of nostalgia, if you will, some favoritism, but also because these guys come from the Minecraft scene. They are new. There's some new blood. I'm kind of looking out for them. I think that they could maybe eclipse that top 6, top 5 range if they can have a few good games. But sleeper teams for you guys, any ones that you're looking out for right now?
Well, I'm Mr. Consistent. I got to go with, previous placements. I'm going Bad Boy Halo and Skeppy. Second place.
That's not a sleeper team, Taylor. That's your pick.
Second, please.
That's your pick.
Hold on, wait, that's sleeper team number 1.
That's sleeper team number 1. I get 3 more. Because Big Star and Preston played, last week, obviously taking it quite convincingly.
I would even
with
take
1,152
I would
points.
even take Preston and
Well,
log.zip over Bad Boy Halo and
now
Skeppy
you've
because
taken mine,
consistency.
so okay.
well,
there you
speaking
go.
of which, that was my second sleeper team that I think is going to move through.
So Taylor's gonna go.
I think Preston Log.zip are going to be phenomenal, but I'm gonna let that go over towards 9. Actually, I think this week is going to be either Jerome or Philza or Captain Sparkle and Venom. I think it's going to be their week, and I think they're going to come through big.
What are expectations? Like, what would you be happy with in terms of a placement for them? Like top 5, top 3?
For Captain Sparkles and Ant Venom, I want to see them get top 5.
I'd be
I would
happy
be
with
happy
it.
with
Yeah,
top 5.
absolutely.
For Jerome and Philza, the same thing. I think top 5 would be great for them as well. If they break top 5, that's a win in my book. Mongrel Mitro too might be a sleeper team because, mind you, they got top 10 in the first ever week.
That's true.
That they played in, and now they're back.
That's a good point. 9 sleeper teams for you that already have not been taken.
That
hopefully.
haven't. Well, with Taylor's standards here, I'm claiming Techno as a sleeper here for this week.
I was going to ask you guys too about that, which continue on with your
Yeah, we'll go ahead. So Jerome and Phil's, I think I've gone with them the last 2 weeks, but I really think I saw so much from them in week 2 the first time they teamed. They were in it to the very end of strictly Hunger Games with Techno.
Yeah.
Being that close means that you can play clearly at the top level, but they've just been a little more not conservative, but they've just been a bit passive in some of these game modes. And I think they have the talent, the skill, and the experience to go as high as top 3. So that is what I want to see from them. Again, this is going to be really interesting to see. Can Preston carry as hard as we've seen some of these other players do? Not that Log.zip is of the level of some of these players that others have had to carry, but Log.zip hasn't had a win yet either. So it'll be interesting to see how much of it was the combination of Vicstar and Preston, and how much of it was Preston alone. That is going to be fun. But you wanted to change the topic a bit to Call Me Carson and Techno.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
Yeah, we've been wondering which week, like we are slowly inching Techno back up to higher levels of
Yep.
partners after nerfing down, starting with Chris O2, then to James Charles, now call me Carson. I'm wondering eventually when we're going to hit that level again, when we have a partner for Techno that can put Techno up in the top. What's remarkable is that he's continued to fight for the top 4 spots,
Absolutely.
even with these partners, but you wonder when we hit that breaking point.
Yeah, that's the big question to be asking. Like we talked about, we've been able to watch Carson, play when it came down to, previous Minecraft Mondays. I know his current average placement after the 3 weeks that he has played in is 12. So not the greatest, but kind of in the middle of the pack, if you will. So that's kind of my big interest is, will we see Technoblade not only just win the entire event, but can he eclipse that top 3, which has kind of been a little bit of a struggle, right? The only person to win multiple Minecraft Monday events. He went back-to-back in week 1 and week 2. As Nine was mentioning, it's kind of been somewhat of a downward spiral for the most part. But could this week finally change things up a little bit? Could he be in that conversation for top 2? We'll have to decide as our first game is about to be underway, right? This is where all of our questions start to get put into somewhat of results as we are headed in toward SparkCity for game number 1. So our first time visiting this one, it looks as if it does have an Americana vibe to it. I'm liking this. This is cool.
Yeah, America, it screams it. You got 2 American flags off at a distance. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a fun one, to say the least. I'm liking the layout. Plenty of buildings, kind of city-esque. It's kind of cool, to say the least. A lot of elevation. I know, Nine, you kind of highlight that usually whenever it comes to the mountain kind of maps overall. But a lot of open ground, too, and this can allow for a lot of line of sights. Be able to spot a player, chase them down, but I'm going to be worried about chasing them down. It looks like there's a lot of area to just continue to run forward. So I think Ender Pearls on this map is going to be crucial to have.
Oh, yeah. Ender Pearls, for those of you, maybe this is your first Minecraft Monday, Ender Pearls do allow you to teleport across the map. Wherever you can throw it to is where you can end up. And the reason why I talk so much about verticality in these higher areas is because you don't have a lot of mobility options.
Yeah.
This is not Minecraft Battle Arena, which we will see later on, meaning that you can't build in this mode. You can't get up to those higher levels of the map without an Ender Pearl or a long time of going through. So whenever you have buildings, whenever you have mountains, when you get set up there, it takes some doing to get back down. So we'll see when these teams opt to do that. We do see Techno as some hilarious noises do come in the background. And
I don't know if you guys have been looking at this. Carson's been in the chat, and he's been asking, can someone please teleport me to Technoblade because I need to see him. that was his main talking point.
First of all,
well, that's somebody's face.
It's somebody's face.
Is that Technoblade's face?
No, don't tell me it is. You know how hilarious
That'd be the ultimate sign of affection.
It's definitely somebody's face. It looks like somebody who's bald. So who would be bald that
I
he'd
don't
be
think
putting
they're
on?
bald.
I think it's bald.
I don't think so. I think I saw some.
Well, I know Techno is not bald, so.
I swear they were bald. We'll definitely get another look at it later. But by far, 10 out of 10, the most creative skin I've seen.
Well, speaking of creativity, Carson, a couple weeks ago, created a joke booth.
Yes.
In Minecraft Bingo, where you're trying to gather all of these strange and seemingly random items, created a joke booth to tell jokes to try to get people to give him that. So if you were expecting Carson to play conventionally and help Techno in a way that you would expect to see it, that is not something that you will get. But speaking of getting something fun, Travis down, but Scoop cleaning it up as well.
Yeah.
So
Pagan went down as well. So Pagan and James Charles already out of this one. That's like hardly any points after game 1. That was the big conversation that we were discussing is this is not the time to slow down. Like, this is where you really need to kind of get off to a good start. And last week when we were talking consistently, right, about Vicstar and TBNR frags, it was, okay, they started off well, and they held on the entire time. Like that little boost that they had in that Hunger Games really kind of helped progress them on throughout the entirety of the tournament. So getting off and starting well is going to be crucial, as it unfortunately right now for XQC a little bit of a slower movement speed as of this time. It has some good items, right? It has a ton of food to work with. As he's kind of one of the big questions, right, coming into this particular tournament today is where is XQC going to finish out? Where is he going to place? It looks as if right now he's just hanging on to the food. He's just making sure he's good when it comes into hearts. You can't hate on that.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's got his axe. He's ready to fight. Maybe, potentially. He's got to get a little bit more of an inventory if he's going to be successful. But definitely a wild card out there, XQC and Moxie, to kind of see how they're going to be able to perform. I did notice your team you were talking about earlier, IHAS Cupquake, did in fact drop. Teammate still remains. Yeah, it does. But Joey's still out there. Joey can make something happen. And
You got
get a
this,
good
Joey
placement,
Graceffa. You got this, man.
Definitely have to see how they're going to be able to do. Yeah, confidence is what you need.
Is this a parking garage? This is very well done.
This
there's actually someone just above them. That's not the kindest. Okay, here we go. I think that might be Joey. Is that Joey Graceffa who's being eliminated? It is. Connor eats pants, taking him down in the parking garage. That is not the greatest place to drop. Yeah, Joey Graceffa with the custom skin. Love to see that. And James Charles, I think, giving some love out to Joey Graceffa, saying, good night, sister. Good night.
Yeah, but then the broken heart emoji comes in as well. So definitely feeling the pain from that one. James
Where are
Charles.
we at now? Is this a track? I'm sorry. I'm just enamored by the locations.
I think it's just a whole city. We have restaurants. We've got parking garages. We've got American flags. We got it all. We also have a tree out there in the middle of nowhere. But Ballistic Squid coming through.
What a play!
Somebody, but what?
Fire Breath Man. I think he literally just utilized, was it the Ender Pearl to get out of dodge? The enemy was trying to swipe, but he was nowhere to be found. He was actually taking down his own teammate. And I'll be honest, I don't exactly know who Fire Breath Man is based on the gamer tags. It is not anyone that we had previously, so I need to figure out who that is.
That was Team 20, and I believe teaming up with players. So I think this was a last-second addition, if I'm not mistaken, and I might very well be. But yeah, this is we've been talking about sleeper teams already making the presence felt, and you can't overstate enough how important these early elims are, right? Because if you can break up a team, and as the bigger teams start to break up over the course of the round itself, this means that you're going to be able to come in and get a lot of late-game elims. We've seen Woofless do that. We have seen Skeppy do that. We've seen Donny Bobes do that as well. Just completely wipe these teams that are by themselves and already weakened by coming in late in the game. So might be something that we see right here, and getting those early-game elims means that you have the score and the luxury to do that. But speaking of players who can put up good scores, we're already seeing Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo reasonably well kitted out there as well. It's been a little slow on the gear. Generally, at this point, we would see a higher gear score than 15. You can see Dan TDM right there. That is an amalgamation of the weapons you have as well as the armor you are wearing. So we will see later go on.
Just peeked around the corner just to see. It was like, okay, did they take down Ant Venom? Okay, they did. Are they still there? Yes, they are. Okay, now's my time to try and escape. Cape and all. Desperately trying to get out of dodge. And I quickly checked our little Minecraft player tracker that we have, and those are new additions, Player and Co. They were added last second, so excited to see what those guys can do. Like I said, a quick little opportunity for them, and we'll see how they can start to seize it. As right now, Captain Sparkles is on a run, and we'll see how long he can last. However, here comes the zone, and I believe from what we saw earlier, it was a call-out actually came through letting us know that the zone actually does take more damage than it has previously. And take a look at that. Fire Breath Man just took down Technoblade.
That's huge. Techno going down. This, I mean, honestly, there's still 15 or 16 teams remaining despite the zone collapsing down. And Techno going down this early is a huge hit. In fact, probably one of the earliest times we've ever seen him drop.
He hasn't gotten any elims this game. And I want to point out, too, that that was a one-on-one fight that happened in, too. Because Carson in chat admitting that he's not helping right now.
Yeah,
and Firebreath's man partner, I believe, was already gone too.
Yeah, he was. He was.
So that's just a straight one-on-one Firebreath man beating Technoblade of all people. Skeppy having none of it. Oh, look at the stare down.
He even tried to give him a cake. Come on, what are you doing, Skeppy? He didn't want to hurt you. Carson.
You're not going to win me away with cake. Cash is what I have on the mind.
Just not a fan of it. Looks like, what, a vanilla cake with
And now Firebreath Man took out Preston as well.
All right, Firebreath Man's a serious competitor here.
What's going on?
Look, the wild card added on a little bit late. Didn't get to talk about it, but apparently he's a god.
He is just taken down
everybody.
It took out Bajan as well. That is the top 3 scorers that were in this tournament individually, all beaten down by one player.
Firebreath Man.
All right.
Bow down already. Might have to. Already looking for another one.
Is he talking in chat, too, to this guy saying, you good? Like, what's going on? Well, player up ahead and another one to his left. So I'm curious, is that his partner or is he running into a 1v2? And actually, no, it's not going to be his partner. Forced into the zone. Was that XQC?
It was.
Look at XQC. Look at this. Imagine if XQC took down Firebreath Man, who has been an absolute killer up to this point. SQC currently on the run, like we talked about, has quite a bit of health to utilize, had quite a bit of food items to try and rock. As there goes Jerome, J-Schlatt Filza starting to kill, or rather fill the kill feed as Captain Sparkles actually took down Filza. So a big victory for him. We talked about how he was on the run. Could he even escape from that situation? It looks as if he does have a hand when it comes down to it. Regardless, though, Skeppy In the midst of another fight, trying to look to take down Dolan Dark, and there we go. Another opportunity for Grande as Bad Boy Halo is on the flank. TNT placed down, and constant items being thrown here toward what looks to be an intersection.
I think if Grande wanted to win that fight, he needed to pursue and sandwich that fight between Skeppy and Bad Boy. Unfortunately, he was just a little bit too behind as another one comes in for a third party and quickly dipping out. And that looks like it is going to be SB737 who is
Do they not know who this duo is? They got to go for them. They need to go for Bad Boy Halo and Skeppy.
Well,
they're trying to team up on SB. No, you got to go for the team who has consistently been a top 2 squad.
Oh my gosh, everybody's converging onto the same location. That's what I was talking about, right? These long line of sights. Everybody sees a fight going off in the distance, and they're getting into it. As Donnie Bobe's coming into the mix, Swagger's Souls is going to be eliminated, and that's going to be Fitzy Fitz and Swagger now out. And we are down to the last remaining 7 teams.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing how quick it all just goes.
Well, you can't hide anywhere.
Exactly.
Skeppy, most eliminations up to this point. We'll see if he can keep that up, as it looks as if SB on the hunt. Try to take down another one. Can he get it done? Only such low hearts unless he can actually put that sword to use. A nice play that actually comes through from Red. This could actually be a very awkward situation since the zone is at the backside. However, Gapple, I think, might have got utilized, so back up to 20 hearts, no problems. Jack actually ends up getting taken down by Raven, my pick. Despite that, though, another one ends up dropping. Great work. But that zone is continuing to tick. Everybody's have to make their way inside, and Fire Breath Man took down another person.
He did, and now Skeppy in a fight, and that's going to be Donnie Bobes. And it's going to be an interesting one to say the least, because with Bad Boy Halo, Skeppy still up, we could potentially be seeing a 1v1 between them and Fire Breath, which could be a very, very interesting matchup to say the least. But I want to. We're finally on his perspective. I want to see him fight on the flank of Skeppy. Dynamite down. This is an opportunity. Hits him really hard, but can he solidify it?
They're both so weak right now, and I think he actually has somewhat of a help coming in from the teammate. And here goes Bad Boy Halo. Another one drops, and now it's time to what seems to be the final 2 players. And
did he get it?
Fire Breath ends up getting taken down. It is Scoop who stays alive with just 10 hearts and gets it done for he and Travis. That's a massive victory coming in from the Week 3 champions. Their first time being back, and that's the way to start it off.
It is. Getting right back where they started. They won, as we remember, that last Hunger Games in that week very dominantly. But talk about Fire Breath, man. Eliminating all of the biggest threats almost sequentially. The only threat not being able to take out, of course, would be Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo there, but very wisely not even pursuing them, knowing that's a 1v2.
Yeah.
And coming in at the end and chip damaging.
He
and I
flanked
think
him.
Maybe getting one more elim than we thought he was going to get there at the end.
Because he picked off, I believe, both of them, right? And then ended up getting into a 1v1 here, and then that's when he was eliminated. And that was Scoop who actually got that. So Scoop, it's good to see him coming back, right, and doing considerably well with Travis. And looking at the score, obviously back at it again from 3rd week, right, when they won first place prize now at 132 points. But Skeppy, Bad Boy Halo up in the mix too. But yeah, Fire Breath Man and Player, 2 teams we're gonna have to be a team we're gonna have to be looking out for moving forward, because Hunger Games we know plays a massive role when it comes to winning this tournament. And obviously, they performed that well going into Hunger Games onto the last one on game number 9. I mean, they seriously can move up.
Yeah, they absolutely can.
Interestingly enough, though, I don't have the stats on hand here, but I'm fairly certain this is the lowest score for first place that we've seen after that first Hunger Games. And we said earlier, all of these new faces, all of these new teams, some unfamiliarity there. This might be what we see. It might be a low-scoring week, but this also means that even the teams who are currently lower on the score sheet still have a chance to bring it back.
Yeah, they definitely do. And it might be curiosity with kind of a team that was kind of thrown into the mix late, right? We had a kind of our pick solidify. It was like, okay, you know, we got these teams kind of undermined, but now we see Fire Breath Man and Player. Player wasn't really involved too much in that Hunger Games, despite seeing a very solid placement. What they finished off second in terms of the Hunger Games, but we talked about if Player was alive, how much more damage could have been accomplished. When we're watching that last 1v1 fight, the biggest deal was that Fire Breath Man was engaged in every single one, right? He was engaged in the final 2. The fact that that doesn't actually happen for him, the fact that he doesn't have a teammate, how much different could that fight have been? That may be a first-place finish for those 2 guys. if they both were alive at that point.
Well, and it's a good point to point out. Let's go back to week 2, though, right? Ballistic Squid and Techno Pig. Techno was the one who was like carrying really hard, right?
Yeah.
And Ballistic was kind of coming through, getting that chip damage. But Techno was still able to secure a victory for Ballistic, and Ballistic only had to do, considerably, kind of well, right? I mean, not the best player, but still very, very decent at the game. But definitely, whenever it comes to this, Firebreathman, we could see much of the same scenario. If he can carry as hard as he's doing so far, player might be in good hands. And mind you, this is just one aspect, right? It's Hunger Games, not moving into TNT Run, Spleef, and all that. Who knows? Player might be extremely good at these other mini games. So if he can come through big and kind of complement that style, this could be a team to watch out for.
And that's the question to kind of be asking looking forward, I think, here, 9, is a matter of, okay, they got it done in the PvP, but now's kind of the major portion of, okay, now the mini games, that kind of really decides a lot. It's kind of like how you start off is important, but the mid game is super crucial because that kind of sets you up for, what we talk about, the battle arena. It sets you up for that Hunger Games. There's only so many times of moments of highlights, but can they get it done here?
It's a great question, and like we've always said, you have to be able to have 2 teammates that can make it work on this TNT run, as we're seeing right here. Again, if you're unfamiliar, when you step on a block, it's gone. You have to stay as high up as you can the entire time. Falling all the way to the bottom, of course, is going to mean you're the end. You do get points for every person you outlast here. So it really does become a matter of setting yourself up. There's so many intricate and small strategies in this as well. But at some point, it's all about reaction, all about making the jumps. And as we see XQC, it's a little harder than one might think.
It definitely is. He's already on a couple levels down, as a couple players are going to still be on that top layer. And I think Scoop was one of them, and I don't know if he dropped down a little bit ago. But staying on that top level extremely difficult, but pretty rewarding. But there's 2 sides to a coin because Landon, what do you have to watch out for?
I mean, you got to watch out for, obviously, the factor of players trying to intercept you, right? Trying to get in front of you, trying to block your perspective. That's always something that has to be a curiosity. And I know I've seen a lot of players, when it comes down to TNT Run, I think based off the way that the blocks get destroyed, it's instant. Now, in previous servers, sometimes you can be able to not have to sprint all the time. In this mode, you have to be very, very careful of that. You see a lot of players constantly jumping around, just trying to be aware of the block. You can't necessarily just walk throughout a lot of these because you see how fast they start to go away. A lot of players kind of get caught off guard in that perspective. So not just the enemies, but you also have to be aware of your own movement speed, how fast you're kind of utilizing yourself throughout the map. A lot of different factors when it comes into TNT Run, along with the ability of blocks being destroyed below you. That's also going to be a small little, minor detail that's maybe a little bit bigger than a lot of people might think.
Yeah, one of the skill sets that we talk about is knowing when to bail and when to drop down, and understanding that, if I continue to cling on to these small blocks right here, I might not have a chance to drop to a safe spot. And Firebreathman, our early MVP, set himself up very nice to survive right here. Now needs to be careful, and this is why you have to be careful. We said it right there, understanding when it is safe to drop and when you need to drop, because that can happen. Top score all the way to the bottom in an instant, and our last 2 left are Techno and Travis picking up right where they left off.
That's funny. It was actually Filza who ended up being his demise, and I think Filza ended up dropping himself as they kind of bumped each other, unfortunately. Yeah, and that's the kind of the risk you take, especially when you go middle. I've noticed a lot of players don't have too much success going middle, and for that reason, there's just not a lot of blocks. But Techno coming through and winning the first round. It's good to see some consistency with this guy.
He's incredible, man.
Week 3, winning 3 of the 5 rounds then. Last week taking a round as well for 4 out of, 10? 4 out of 7, somewhere in there. A very good percentage of victory. As you see, we do have 3 rounds here. Round 1 going to Techno, and we'll see here. We saw some of the big names still up there. Scoop, Trav, Firebreathman, all names that we saw at the top of the leaderboard. I think that team might be the one to watch out for, guys.
Yeah, it definitely could. Right, kind of already answering our questions in the first round of the 3 that we will play. As a few players already starting to drop. I see Firebreathman kind of going toward the left side of the screen. We've got Rage Elixir recently being added there for Team 3. He and Raven quickly high-five and hope to stay up on that top level we talked about, right? Trying to, and I know you were bringing it up, 9. When you're on that top level for so long, sometimes you have to pick the time to bail, and sometimes you wait a little bit long, and we see the exact situation that went through there with Firebreathman. Was on a very high layer, ends up dropping, 3 just because there were no blocks available. A lot of micromanaging that you have to be aware of, as I think Skeppy, along with just a few more, the last player still alive on this top layer, but how long can they stay up for?
Definitely something to be asking yourself. Skeppy, though, man, it's good to see him doing so well, dropping down. And just like you said, Landon, right? Picking that right time to drop, and he saw his opportunity. And he likes to hang out on the ledge, and that's exactly what he's doing. Techno, though, moving into the middle, as I believe that was Dolan, who just moved to his left. And luckily, we didn't see a Philza little opportunity there where both players drop. Philza and Fire Breath Man. But I noticed Techno kind of runs a different strategy. You notice how he's just individually jumping on each block and kind of working his way around versus sprinting like a lot of players do.
I think the reason why you're doing that is instantly as soon as like you leave the blocks like area, it instantly goes away. Whenever you're jumping over it, you have the ability to hover and stay alive for a little bit longer. As I think we see a few more players falling victim to that exact same thing that we're bringing up. Some strategies working out well, and for others, not exactly the same case. But take a look at this. Skeppy is still alive. He's made it from layer to layer. Log.zip not too far away, nearly exchanging a few blows, if you will, but still hanging on. And there goes one. Now we're down to our final 4 players. Oh, my gosh. Skeppy.
Oh, no, Skeppy!
Oh, he tried to back up. He tried to back up, and look at this. Technoblade, a decently big jump to make, and he makes it look super, super simple. Quite a few blocks still up here.
Surely Techno can't win 2 in a row. Come on. When has he ever been able to win 2 in a row of any game? Like basically every week. But Fire Breath Man, though.
Oh, this could be a big jump.
Yeah,
I don't know if he can make this
jump, but if he makes it on the edge, and that is so unfortunate. But second place, not bad. That's still a lot of points. But Techno, second time in a row winning. And there's only 3 of these.
Might we see a perfect round? We have never seen that before. Techno has won 3 rounds of this before. Now it was 3 out of 5 there. So, of course, the pressure of a perfect run of TNT. But Fire Breath, I believe, has been in the top 8 both of these games.
Yes, 100%.
He has.
I believe Philza has been doing well himself. Techno
Skeppy's been up there as well.
Skeppy, yeah. And I mean, if you're talking, where's Bad Boy Halo, though? That's the question.
That's true.
Right?
It's about consistency. You can't just have one player really start to dominate. It's a team game, that's for sure. As we'll start this one off, trying to be ultra careful off the start. And my worry is just how do you even plan? I don't think there's really a strategy for.
I think you just run.
Yeah, I think you just sprint,
Forrest
hoping
Gump.
to get towards the edge, because there's no way to prevent all of the madness that just takes place in this top player. Like instantly, tons of blocks are starting to fall. Maybe 70% of the player base is on the next few levels.
And that's what I'm kind of thinking about whenever it comes to Spleef. Removing that 3rd layer, there's only 2. Like, if staying on top is going to be critical. Going to the 2nd layer, it could be devastating. But staying up top, as we see in TNT Run, right, it's kind of common to see these players kind of hang out on the edge. In Spleef, though, with only there being 2 levels, I mean, once you fall, if you go into an open area, you're done for.
You are, and again, you can only stay alive on one of these levels for so long, right? And that's why staying at the bottom, even if you're a great player, is going to put you in a really bad position because, again, you are only going to have so many blocks. As we see, speaking of blocks, Fire Breath Man might be able to just chill up here the whole rest of the time.
He's got plenty to work with.
So much to work with, and all within jumping distance. If he is smart about this, we may see him finally knock off Techno for that top position.
That's what someone needs to do. Someone needs to make it happen. Technoblade. Back-to-back games as players starting to fall from those upper layers. They've got to be super careful. Quite a bit of blue is beginning to be exposed. And I think a race kind of toward the bottom side is both J-Schlatt
Bad Boy Halo.
and Bad Boy Halo is still up, I think.
7 players left, Landon.
Yep.
5 now. 4. What? What's going on? Everybody's falling.
Oh, man. Look at this. Bad Boy
3.
Halo. We were talking about it. Where has he been at? He's still hanging on.
Fire Breath fell.
Oh, no. That's actually so unfortunate because he was on that top layer. There goes Bad Boy.
It's Skeppy versus Techno. Skeppy, please.
Oh, come on,
Is
Skep.
Techno confirmed the last one?
He's got to be.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
You can see it's just 2, and he's the top scorer, and Skeppy's the only
He's running
one.
out. He's running out of blocks. Techno. Oh, he's.
Oh, Techno's chilling.
Yeah.
He did it! I
Are
don't
you
believe
kidding?
it!
He won all 3 in a row?
Oh, my
How do you go
gosh.
so try-hard in TNT Run? Techno, my man, winning literally
All 3.
all 3.
All 3.
There's nothing this man can't do.
Now, I will say, let's keep in mind, because the points are crucial, because we'll look at this and say, oh, Technoblade's got to be at the top of the scoreboard, which may be possible, but he may not have earned as many points as you would like, because it's a matter of whenever he wins that over Skeppy and Bad Boy, it's a point.
It's a point.
Right?
Yep.
Bad Boy Halo and Co., they were consistent. They were both in that top 4 situation. Where was Cole Me Carson at? That's my big thing.
First
if he
one
was
to drop.
I was gonna say,
if
I
he
think
was
we all
in the
know.
top 20, he's probably not earning a whole lot of points.
No,
So
he's
it may
not,
look
he's
like,
not.
oh my gosh, Technoplay dominates this game.
Right.
It may not be as many points as it perceives to be.
I think it's just a matter, like, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's just impressive to say the least.
Oh,
like Techno winning 3 in a row.
100%.
But you're right. Carson is that kryptonite. It seems like every single week since Techno's been, dominating, Keemstar's always been, like, tweeting out, like, how can I find a kryptonite to stop him? But
Yeah, look at this.
He
He goes
takes the
down.
top. He does go down.
Despite winning 3 games, he goes down.
And we asked Bad Boy Halo, where was he at? Well, clearly he was doing well. Skeppy and Bad Boy taking over first. 294 points is a good lead as Scoop and Travis drop down to second. But Fire Breath, man, and players still consistently stay up there. And first through third, just a mere 50 points between the two, or between the three.
It's great, and I believe our next round is going to be another high-scoring opportunity for these teams. So we said that first round we were a little disappointed by the scores, thought they were a little low in Minecraft Hunger Games, but now, guys, we're going to start to see them separate a little bit.
Look at Team 5, XQC and
Yep.
Moxie.
Yep, 198 score, man. They're keeping it consistent. I really wasn't for sure. We were talking about, like, what are the expectations for this roster? What are they really going to accomplish when it comes to Minecraft Monday? Clearly, they're just right in there. They were playing fine. We were talking about, like, in terms of that first Hunger Games, XQC was still alive. He was hanging out. I know we saw Moxie a little bit kind of throughout the the last TNT run. They were clearly having a decent showing, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Because they weren't in that top 5 when it came down to the last game,
but
so they must
think
have rose.
But, like, think of if both of them made top 15. That would outscore Techno winning. Assuming that
That's true.
Carson doesn't make the top
Yeah.
20 himself, both of them making top 20 or top 15
Yeah.
outscores Techno. And that's why we say in these mini games, both players have to be able to contribute.
Absolutely. That's the key to victory, right? Having multiple teammates starting to go off. And even when it came down to last week, we were constantly, giving praise to both Fixstar and Preston for being those top earners. And obviously when you're together, it makes it easier to earn points. But the fact that it wasn't a massive carry from one player over the other made a massive difference. And it was the reason why they ended up taking last week without ever hardly losing anything. Like, they never lost the first place advantage. They did, not win every single game, but they were always consistent and as a duo together. As here we go, like we talked about, coming in now toward Dropper, our game 3, 10 stages, 90-second timer on each. You earn 10 points for being in the first 5 to complete a particular course, and you also do earn 5 points for finishing the course outside of the top 5. So off the jump, here we go.
It's one of my favorite games. It has been consistently since we added it. And for this very reason, I just love seeing the massive players drop.
My
And already
goodness.
one is completed, mind you. If you guys pay attention, right over there to the middle right of your screen, you'll get to see how many players have completed. And it kind of varies, right? Last week, we would see basically all players complete very quickly, or sometimes it would take a little bit of time. But usually there's always that one straggler. As it looks like, honestly, a chess set as you're just dropping down, trying to land in the white spaces, the clear spaces going through. And I think navigating on this one is going to be absolutely critical.
It has to be. And the real strategy in this is how quickly can you learn, right? You're probably not going to get it on the first try. We always say that, and yet someone always does. And you always have to be able to land in the water.
Ooh.
Someone's saying, darn you, Techno. I'm assuming
made it. Yeah, he
most
must have made
people
it.
say that. And
Oh, there he is.
surprise.
Every week.
Yep, Techno. Last week we had an invisible level that Techno still beat within 15 seconds.
did.
That is not an exaggeration, mind you. And over here, thanks to our good camera work, you
Look
can
at
see there
Dan.
is a button that has to be hit. Dan currently looking for that right
10
now.
seconds.
Sparkle's joining, and every week you guys always say it. Someone gets there a little late. I think Fitz is going to make it.
Whoever lands in the
But
water.
Ant Venom's
Fiddle's going to be
not.
too
Oh,
late. There's no way. And he
no.
ran the wrong way.
No.
And Fiddle, no. And that's the unfortunate thing. Finding that button has, eliminated quite a few players, unfortunately, as this one kind of looks a little bit of the same.
Oh, man, yeah, this just does not look like a fun time, that's for sure. As we'll see, okay, looks as if 3, 4 people starting to complete this course. So maybe not as difficult, or maybe they've learned from their prior mistakes. The multiple mistakes that you have to make when it comes in a dropper, they are plenty. And look at this, Grande. Easy, making it look simple. And he'll go ahead and press that button, be moving on toward the next game. So props to Grande for getting this one done. But quite a few players already progressing through, still 50 seconds, and a major majority of the player base has already completed this one. All the floating heads are just watching, waiting for who may be coming in next, and there's Afme.
Yeah, Afamu coming through, which I was excited to see her kind of come in, right? Afamu as well as and Red Vector coming in as a new team. I has Cupquake Joey new team, Rage Raven a new team. 3
Speaking
of
of
them.
Joey.
Did Joey make it?
through.
Yeah, Joey just
Yami
made it.
gets
There's
through.
Yami.
25 seconds. 36 teams have made it so far. So not a bad one to say the least. You know, you never know what kind of level you're going to get into. You never know. And that's just one little pool of water to jump into from a very high distance. I'm thinking there's a pool of water over on the other end too, or maybe I'm just mistaken. I think it's just a hole. And it could even be fake water too, because we've seen that before.
We have. I think you're right. I think it is a hole, because remember, these are floating above an endless ocean. All of these dropper maps, which are quite beautifully made, by the way. Gotta love it. As we see some lava and fire come in. So this means that you have to be even quicker about what you're doing.
Yep.
Because we've seen people hit the bottom and still burn. So we said, okay, starting it off easy. Now let's make it a little harder.
Gosh. So you're pretty much lit on fire. You then have to jump through one sequence of lava, jump down another sequence of lava, and then happen to fall toward the water. And then you have parkour to deal with, because I think you actually do, obviously, take some damage along the way. This is not going to be easy, that's for sure. We still have seen 4 players already complete this, but based off of, you know, the average player base, we're looking at Fitz right now, and he's having an issue on the first layer, as many other players are as well. So a difficult one to accomplish. Riding the lava a little bit. What a play from Fitz! Oh my God! And looking at that, the entire
then you have to jump on the blocks. Are you kidding me?
Fitz, come on! You got this. He was so low in health. No!
Fitz!
We just gave him so much props.
Fitz, that hurts. And there's only 23
We gotta watch Fitz.
seconds.
We can't go away from Fitz. Come on, he's got. Oh man.
You were there, my friend.
Oh, it was literally the parkour team. That's what I was saying. Like it leads up to. If you fall multiple times in parkour, you're going to die. You're not going to survive.
This is his last chance.
Oh,
Yeah,
Fitz, that's so heartbreaking.
Wow. And only 12 people completed this. Well, now 13. I mean, 14. That's still a low
That's
scoring
10 valuable
game.
points, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a low scoring game. Okay. Totally different scenario.
I like this one. It's a tree, obviously kind of jungle themed.
Kind
I'm
of
liking this one.
aesthetically pleasing. Even the lava one, I just enjoyed. Like I would stand on top and just look down. It would just be so cool.
Just look down. Just enjoy it.
On fire.
Every single body flying through, you know. Look at this. So it goes down. And I think, was this the layer that we saw wow, this goes a lot farther than I
what do they
originally
land
thought.
on?
Looks just like
very, very dark water in the center there. The lack of light makes this even harder.
Could you imagine if like 3 of those 4 blocks of water was like glass?
Oh,
there was only
no.
one.
Or blue wool.
Blue wool.
Heaven
So
forbid.
the only thing that you could land in is just one square.
That would be
Could you
harsh.
imagine?
That'd
It
be
would be.
harsh.
And this is so deceiving because the leaves, they look so soft.
They do.
They look like you
soft.
could just easily just.
Oh, look
crawl
at
right
Captain
through.
Sparkles. Oh.
But I
Like
think
one
he
more
learned.
layer.
I think
Yeah.
he learned he needs to be more centered, because I don't think he would have been able to drift far enough anyway.
And this is a difficult course, right? We've seen, like, it's kind of average to see run, 15, 16, 17 players kind of complete one. The fact that we've only seen up to this point, well, now there's 11. I was going to say we were up to only 8, so starting to learn kind of toward the outer edges. Despite that, though, this beginning has easily been a problem. I like the idea there from SB, just kind of riding the edge, and then once you catch your opportunity, you start to kind of fly into the water, but to no avail. All these players not going to matter here, as we are at some pumpkins here for course.
That last one, what, only 9 people, 10 people? Something like that.
I think it was 12.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
I mean, that's considerably low. One of the lowest ones that we've seen so far. Oh, it's miniature. The first one, at least. See, the wood is like, it's a pumpkin. It's a pumpkin face. There you go. So that's pretty cool. I thought they were going to be faces the whole way down.
Which one do you try to jump through? That's my bit. No.
Where do you land?
What?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Wait, and you keep going. I think you keep going.
Can we spectate
Can we look
Techno?
down really quick?
Can we spectate Techno?
What? You have to, okay.
If there's
well, if you
anybody
hit
that
that,
can do
though,
this,
yeah,
it would be-
if you
if
hit
you-
that,
Oh, it
you're
says
good.
high?
If you hit that, you land in the water.
Oh my gosh.
I think. Yes, that is water. That is
No
not
one's
blue wool.
completed this.
If you're
Farmer Joe's Pumpkin Farm.
okay,
So if
you,
you
Farmer
make
Joe.
it past that and you keep the same momentum, you will land down here.
There's surely no one makes it through, but I don't think we're going to see 10 complete this for sure.
No,
Like,
there's
this
only
is
30
just-
seconds left. And counting down, this is like by far the hardest one we have seen, even past the invisible blocks.
Oh, I was going to say Connor has a great route. Who made it
someone
through?
made it!
Techno!
Was it Techno? Oh
Techno
my
made it!
Gosh.
course.
Of course.
He
Imagine
might
that.
be
Techno.
the only one to make it.
And that's what
10 seconds.
10 points.
10 seconds.
Oh, so-
Connor
Oh,
What? Someone just
just
bounced?
bounced?
What just happened?
is there a trampoline down there?
What's
No,
going
Fire Breath Man.
Fire Breath Man! He made it. Of course it'd be
Did he
Fire
get to
Breath.
the button, though? Did he get it to the...
I don't think so. There was two.
So Techno is the only one that made it?
No, there was another person.
Skeppy, I think it was.
Skeppy and Tech. Surprise,
Wow.
surprise. Skeppy and
Oh
Techno.
my
Now, this one looks
Gosh.
deceiving because the cloud is like literally passing right through this because it's so high up.
I'm not sure if this is. I think it's actually. Okay, this is the easiest course of all time.
You say that.
Well,
34
There you
have
go.
completed it, so...
Well, after the last one,
in
to be fair,
comparison,
after the last one, we do need to throw some points towards some teams
Yeah,
because
people
that
need
last
some
one was like
points.
impossible.
Fire Breath Man deserves those last points for the pumpkin level. To even just make it down there itself is difficult enough, as all the floating heads are just enjoying their time together, saying, "Hey, what's going on, guys? This is interesting. We now
It's a
get
nice
to talk."
little meetup.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice little meet and greet for the Minecraft community. 40 seconds left, and still only a few more remain. 4 players, to be exact, have yet to complete this one.
Who are there's this one surely should be an easy one.
And Fire Breath Man did confirm. He said in chat that he did not make it through in time.
Oh no!
to press the button,
So only Techno and Skeppy.
Yep.
The only two.
Wow. And that's what 10 points going their way.
Yep.
It is.
Wow.
If we're in that top 5, I mean, that would have even been 10 points if Fire Breath Man would have made it through. There was such a slim amount of people
Right.
that managed to accomplish that. But
I see. So everyone has made it through.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess our spectators are in fact counting as players. So we have to wait until it's completely over. But everybody made it through. That's impressive. Granted, it was just a straight jump, but it's still impressive.
oh gosh.
And now be up back to
you enjoyed
back
that,
to the
huh?
drawing board.
You guys enjoyed that one? Noxie, okay.
Okay, but what do you land in?
Moxie made it pretty far there. That's pretty impressive. Honestly, at the beginning, I'm looking, which is going to be very difficult because you have a very awkward time trying to see players through players' bodies, but at the same time also trying to locate Technoblade, who pretty much accomplishes these super quick. But I'd be looking for him. I'd be looking for Technoblade. Right?
Well,
Where's this guy going? What are the routes that he's taking?
Well, just take a look at Player, who has apparently finished behind Techno again and again. We saw saying earlier, I believe that's the 3rd time now that Techno has just barely touched the button before Player.
Gosh.
So we were talking earlier about Player and Fire Breath Man and saying, well, where is Player's skill?
Right.
Apparently it's Dropper. If you're right behind Techno and Dropper, you are doing something well.
Clearly so.
It's a good sign.
Clearly
It's a good
so.
sign for those two. It looks as if still a few more toward the top. I think I see James Charles, Joey Graceffa. I has Cupquake.
Grande.
Call me Carson.
Starting to see a few of those names become a little bit slimmer. They all know the right idea. Call Me Carson says, you know what? I'm not going to jump from the same layer. I'm just going to go all the way over toward the other side.
Right.
And I think Cupquake just made it in. Ballistic Squid, 4, 3, 2.
He got it.
Got it.
That was close. That was getting a little bit nerve-wracking at the end, but manages to earn those 5 points regardless. As now we head in toward the 8th course out of 10.
Can't wait to see this one. Okay, so they're all, honestly, they're all fairly similar. I would have to say, not that it makes it any easier, but at least it's kind of repetitive. So these players might be getting some hints or be able to apply the previous courses.
And even the movement that you have to do in the air, I'm sure, really helps out a lot to kind of
Sure.
know exactly how to form it, which is going to be key. As 4 have already completed, still 10 more valuable points to go to
Quite a few
somebody. And I
down
think we did see a few just slide their way in. And there's Technoblade, so it was not in the top few, but still completes it regardless. That's the only negative that you can kind of take away, which there are no negatives. But Technoblade not completing that one, rather not completing as fast as we would like. Has he completed every single one,
He
right?
has.
Yeah, so
Every
I
single
think
one.
he
and mostly earning 10 points every time.
He and Skeppy are the only two that have completed all of them.
Wow.
Pretty
It's pretty good.
pretty good ratio, I would say, as we see
For sure.
Scoop going down. And, this is another one of those players that we need to see come up big in this mode as we get down to just the last 15 seconds. Only going to have a couple more tries. They need these points because we've seen how Fire Breath Man and Player have managed to do here. It's going to be important if they want to keep their lead.
Oh, 5 more seconds left. Is anybody going to come down here? I think someone could, but no. No one left. No more points earned as now we are at our 9th course, going now toward the gold level, which we are kind of familiar with that terminology when it comes down to Run from Lava. A very difficult one for many players, and we may be seeing more of the same when it comes down to this level. New game mode, same issues.
Definitely want to say, by far, though, this week of Dropper seems to be the most complex that we've seen because typically.
Oh, look at this.
Now,
it's like a diamond at the bottom.
And that's the thing. Now it's
shape.
like, are all those water? That's what I'm asking myself because we've seen how sneaky they can get.
I want to say that most of them are based off the amount of players that have completed it, but you never know. That'd be that would be something you throw in next week just as a teaser. James Charles, so close. Come on, James.
Oh no,
you've got this, James. I have confidence in you.
One of the things that I've loved to see on this level too is again this cross here at the top that allows you to take different angles to jump down. So gives you a new chance. And James Charles with the success. 30 seconds left too. That's easy.
Oh, it's the wrong button. Oh my gosh, there's different buttons.
Now see. All right, fair enough. So the water is all true, but of course there's like 4 different buttons.
This is like find the button.
So now imagine the player who
dropper.
finally makes it in the last 10 seconds, because we're getting up on that in just 3 seconds, right? Who can't find the right button. How mad would you be?
Oh, Yammy. Oh, okay. Yammy ended up making it through, so that was the right button. I was going to say I was a little bit worried at that moment.
I think, oh, one more person. It's not going to make it. Who was that? Was that Grande?
No, that was... Oh, well, we'll see. We're on to the next one now. Once again, everybody on fire.
That's always kind. That's always nice. I'm curious, is this the most difficult one to date? Because it looks as if quite a bit of flames that you have to try and dodge yourself through, which is going to pretty much cover up quite a bit of your angles. So already having to make it through what seems to be as if a 1 block, and then you, just kind of maneuver your way through. You know, pretty easy, pretty simple.
Down super far.
So at 3 different stages, you have to make it within 1 block, not including your drop, not including landing in the water. There's also cobwebs, which are going to frustrate you a little.
Lack just laughing out loud. That's all he said.
Oh, okay.
Filza made it down.
Okay.
You just got to jump to the flames at that point. It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it.
The only one to finish is Filza. This might be their week, guys.
Could be. We've been talking about it, right? Couldn't they get it done?
That's what purgatory is like. I agree, Dolan. This is what it is like. Spend the rest of eternity just dropping on fire, trying to find the cobwebs.
You get to go through all the layers of purgatory in one fell drop. And what's really frustrating about this is that this takes a long time. So if you fail here,
there's only 10 seconds.
You only get so many chances.
Two players got it.
Somebody else got it.
I wonder who it could be.
Techno.
Oh, but
he's got 2 seconds.
Did he make it?
Let's take a look at the completed. He does.
He made it in just a second. So he beat every single level.
He's the only person to do every single level. I don't think Skeppy made it through in this last one.
No, Fire Breath Man made it as well. So just Filza, Fire Breath Man, and of course Technoblade.
So this week, incredibly difficult. We saw plenty of levels where 20+ people weren't able to successfully press the button. And because of that, honestly, you could take a huge point lead right here.
Oh,
right? That's
absolutely.
10 levels, 10 points apiece, 100 points. It's massive.
Yeah, well, obviously take a look at our scoreboard now to see how things have possibly changed up. So Skeppy, Bad Boy, Halo leading at the top side, 394 overall score, followed up by Mr. Fire Breath Man and Player, 362. And like we talked about, our Week 3 champions currently sitting in that 3rd place spot. C-Scoop and Super Travs hanging out there, along with a few other ones. As we talk about Technoblade rising a little bit. Now went from 6th now to 4th. Can he possibly claim his 3rd championship? A lot more to be decided as we are 3 games through. Still 6 more to go. Do not go anywhere. More Minecraft Monday right after this.
you closer, so it wouldn't fall down. And now I just count the waves of your warm embrace when you made it a little bit lighter, when I was tumbling into death. Lost everything. Lost everything, but you'll always stay close to my heart. Lost everything, but you'll always stay close to my heart. You'll always stay close to my heart.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Minecraft Monday, week number 5, as we are through our first 3 game modes, getting ready to head into what will be Spleef. As we are live here from the UMG studio, myself, Lano, joined in part by Reflections, 9 Whole Grains. We talked about, guys, a few updates coming into Spleef, no longer 3 levels, actually now 2.
Yeah, 2, and that's what I was talking about during the TNT run. It is definitely going to matter now to stay on top, because dropping down could be hugely detrimental. We're talking about, what, close to 30 players that are going to be breaking that bottom layer, and the people up top are just going to nonstop be throwing snowballs at you to break you down. So it is definitely going to make a huge difference. You're not going to have that extra security of the 3rd layer.
And we talked about last week, it was kind of a matter of Bad Boy Halo and Skeppy. They were great at this game mode, along with KYR, Speedy, and Sidearms. KYR, Speedy, and Sidearms not in this week, so that could be a huge opportunity for Bad Boy and Skeppy to kind of rise through the ranks a little bit more.
It should be, and I'm curious to see if the hideout in the corner strategy that we have seen Jerome and Filza use, as well as last week, Grape Applesauce, as well as Hey I'm B, they did that a lot as well. Because again, it's a little bit easier to do, I think, with 3 layers, because of course people are trying to not drop, and they don't look up to see who's still hiding there. For those of you who don't know, this isn't like TNT Run. You do get to stay on something until it eventually melts later on, but that takes quite a while, and so again, staying up there, I'm wondering if I might try to play a little bit sneaky here if I were them.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of like the strategy that has worked for a lot of, quite a few teams. Is a matter of how do you stay on the top layer. Well, if you're going to engage on everybody, it's not going to work out too well. So the fact if you can stay up toward the top, collect your snowballs with your shovel. Each block that you destroy, you get a snowball for it. It could work out pretty well. And it's taking a look through the eyes of James Charles off the start. Hearing constant snowballs being thrown, and unfortunately for James, he actually takes down his own layer and is immediately brought down to the final one. We talked about, right, only now 2 layers, and there goes James, one of the first players to fall. So unfortunate. Regardless, though, we talked about it, Bad Boy Halo and Skeppy, how are they going to play? Taking a look through their vision here off the start, they're hanging on.
It definitely seems as if the blocks are starting to deteriorate pretty fast as well. So maybe some more changes coming our way. I mean, there is lava underneath the snow. Definitely not where you want to put snow at. But I will have to say, I think a lot of players are going to get punished very quickly because that 3rd layer is not there, as Skeppy is going to drop down. Plenty of snowballs in the inventory. Still plenty of players remaining as he gets hit.
No!
And there goes a player
Cupquake!
dropping down. Cupquake, unfortunately, meets the end.
That's so unfortunate in that moment there, 9. Was a matter of, firing a bunch of snowballs, and Skeppy just kind of absorbs them and just watches you fall down to the lava.
Your puny snowballs can do nothing to me. But, a strategy that I'm starting to see from these players who are still up here at the top, and this is interesting, we're not seeing a ton of snowball usage up here. We are seeing,
that's true.
For the most part, they're trying to save their snowballs because they know there aren't as many layers for them to pull snowballs from. So it's all the more important to save it as long as you can. And, hey, look at this. 2 of the last 3 on the top layer. Technoblade and Moxie, but also Fire Breath Man. So some big scores that we've seen. And, I'm starting to think that of the XQC and Moxie duo, it may be Moxie that's putting in the big work here. This is another great round. Skeppy
we have 3 different teams in the top 6 up here having members.
Yeah, Skeppy down there. Techno waiting. Techno falls.
Oh, okay.
Safely,
this is interesting.
Safely to the bottom layer, though. Still up there, 10 players. But that means Fire Breath Man is the only one. And now I believe Techno does go down. And it's just Moxie now, so we'll see. 7 players, Fire Breath Man running.
And good to see Moxie up there, right? Moxie, XQC's teammate, and they're not doing too bad. To go from that Overwatch kind of transition over to Minecraft and be doing as well as you're playing, that's pretty awesome. And probably one of the best transitions that we've seen, despite Mongrel Mitro placing top 10 in the week that they played, which, by the way, was hugely impressive, at least to me. But to be at least top 5 and be in the running is definitely impressive for XQC. And Moxie, who is throwing snowballs viciously as Fitz. As Fitz does drop, and I believe we're down to our last 4 players.
Yep, Moxie's still hanging out, trying to toss a few snowballs from afar. And I will say that player, Raven, was on the outer edges. Thankfully, he's going to try to grab a few snowballs as well. Some much-needed ones, but like we talked about, trying to take away your real estate cannot be the kindest. And oh my gosh, from Rage and Raven!
Wait.
Just slid off the side by accident. They were tossing snowballs, and I think it might have just been the a quick little pressing of the keys that takes him down. And Fire Breath Man says, hey, cool. I didn't have to leave my area. I just got to stay up here and get a free dub. Thank you so much.
And, you know, that went a lot faster than it typically does. So clearly that third layer being removed makes a huge difference as a player immediately drops to the bottom. And that is so unfortunate for whoever that was. But for the most part, though, it went fairly quick. Fire Breathman staying up top, like you said, Nine, you know, maintaining, not trying to get as many
is
snowballs
Carson
on the top
trying
level.
to – I think Carson is trying to pull the snow from underneath Technoblade.
Oh, no.
This is intentional team sabotage.
Oh, he's hitting his own teammate. Carson, get away.
Carson says, I got to do this. I got to do this.
He's still trying.
And I like how Skeppy was there. All earned the free points.
Saved Techno's life from his
Oh, there goes Skeppy, though.
Skeppy, no.
Skeppy falls to the one block that he was standing on. That is so unfortunate. And the fact that Technoblade is playing as well as he is, despite having a teammate who is trying to secretly, not really secretly anymore, foil him, is super impressive. But my goodness, there goes another one. Ant Venom on the flank, nearly trying to take down Philza, but just not have the snowballs, the worth
Jack.
it ones. And there goes Jack. And I think another player fell as well. This fight has been oh so interesting. Technoblade trying to hold on toward the top layer.
Everybody has
Swagger
it out
Soul's
for
not
him.
able to do enough, though. And Swagger's still taking some damage from afar. But I've loved this dynamic, right? This kind of new rivalry that we've been able to watch of Fire Breath Man and Technoblade. It was Fire Breath who managed to get the last laugh this time, but Technoblade falls toward the next layer and immediately takes, or rather nearly takes someone down on those outer edges.
He was close. I think if he would have went for the blocks below versus the player, he probably would have had a better chance. Oh, who just dropped?
That was Raven, I think.
Oh, Raven.
That's my sleeper team, man. I got some faith in
I
those
know.
guys.
Well, hey, I mean, that's not bad. There's only 9 players left, so finishing up top 10, still, what, 20-plus points?
I love this. Wait, I think it was, Red was just waiting. He was like, should I go and fire away at or try to make it happen? But it looks as if it's not working out too well. Constant snowballs and just never stood a chance. Once you get up in the air, man, and those snowballs keep coming at you, there's just not a whole lot you can do. As now Swagger Souls is enjoying the spoils, being the last player toward this top side.
It's pretty big for Swagger, too. Swagger wasn't kind of, you know, the top players that we were talking about in the TNT run. But for Swagger to be doing as well as he's doing, not bad at all. Fire Breath. Man, though. Look at the accuracy as Swagger goes down. Yeah, that's why we don't mess with Fire Breath, man.
Yeah, you do not touch this man. That's for sure. Even when you try to flank him, you end up falling, and everybody is dropping for this guy. They pale in comparison. They bow down to Fire Breath, man. They don't even want to take him on, it seems.
That's 2 in a row.
That is. That's
So
2 in a row,
Techno,
of which he has players dropping without engaging.
So 3 in a row for TNT Run for Techno. Now 3 in a row potentially for Spleef for Fire Breath, man?
We talk about rivalries. It's always been team rivalries, and we've always just kind of assumed, okay, nobody could really touch Techno on the individual scale. Guys, this might not be true anymore.
It may not be. Starting to change up. Philza, Cupquake getting in the action a little bit. Cupquake, unfortunately, one of the first few players to fire the way down. And you see a lot of players, it kind of depends, right? It's a matter of, do you want to try to be up close or from long range?
Sure.
Utilize those snowballs, or maybe you just try to take the blocks out from underneath people. It's just so difficult when you get in those close quarter situations because everybody is aware of what's going on. I mean, this is the definition of 3Ps and over. Because as soon as an engagement happens, you just notice the entire lobby starts to focus on people. In the middle is where players are starting to drop. Fitz trying to stay alive toward the low ground, but XQC still alive on the top layer.
I'm looking at
But look
that
at this.
aim.
He's got hardly any blocks below him.
Yeah. Oh, and some snowballs are, in fact, coming his way as he immediately focuses attention on another player and will drop that player who will land safely on the bottom layer. But I will say, hey, XQC, he's got some decent aim.
He does. crazy to think, right?
I was going to say something about other first-person shooters.
Yeah,
And,
you know.
you know,
What-
Some history.
What other
Oh!
game? Like Overwatch or something?
Yeah, you know, something like that.
something. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big jump.
Oh, wow.
That was bold.
That was very bold. That was not easy to make happen. Well, actually getting tagged up from multiple angles, and I'm just going to say, I think having players shoot at you consistently from both point of views actually kind of helped this stability a little bit.
It's just
kind of evened him out on that block.
And
Kept him in place.
Where's Fire Breath Man? Is XQC going to be the one that ends the reign of Fire Breath Man?
Do it! Oh.
Battle of two
say-
titans.
Oh, and there goes
later.
Dan.
Unfortunate. Well, XQC now chilling on his own little island. Who's still up there? Wait a
Bad
second.
boy Halo.
Bad boy
Okay,
Halo.
I like to see it. Bad boy Halo.
Skeppy's still up
Skeppy.
as well.
That's going to be a lot of points.
And they
going
can
their
team
way.
up in this situation. We've seen, I think it was last week, Sidearms and K-Wire Speedy. One was on the top layer, the one was on the bottom layer. They were pretty much just tried to single somebody out. And with the vision that you have from above, it can absolutely help you in a multitude of situations. And you notice Raven single-handedly was trying to take down Skeppy, player that was the closest toward him. But also has to be careful to not take too much real estate away as you can find yourself on an island, and there goes Skeppy. Ends up getting taken down. It looks as if Bad Boy Halo as well was brought from the top layer.
So Halo.
Fire Breath Man, I still believe, is up.
Is
gotta be.
it bad that I'm rooting for Fire Breath Man to win this last one just so we can get 3 in a row and match it of Techno?
And make a great story.
It would definitely would. Ballistic Squid still in the mix too. And unfortunately, he goes out as Raven. Spleefing about. Spleef, spleef, spleef. Trying to get as many snowballs as possible.
Let's hear that one more time.
Spleef, 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 spleef. So actually, it does look like Fire Breath Man fell somewhere because we know Moxie is up,
Oh, yeah.
as well as Facetious Raven. So this is going to be the fight to watch. A third party over in the corner.
Oh, that is good aim.
Let's go, Moxie.
Still surviving though.
I think he was missing
Oh.
the blocks. I loved how he
Oh.
looked down like, am I good? Yep, good. Immediately runs away. It's getting dangerous. That
Oh,
player's
those are
got-
great shots. The
Oh.
last one lands. One snowball to rule them all. As we've got
So-
2 players left. Moxie versus what seems to be... Actually, I don't know who that is. And it doesn't matter anymore. They're taken down. There they go.
Well, good job for Moxie, though.
Yeah, for Moxie
Okay.
and for XQC, that's a big victory. That's a big dub.
That's huge, yeah, because what they were top 5, so doing that well, I gotta say, very surprising. Heads up play. Honestly, I am a fan of the third layer being removed. I think
I
this
am
was a
too.
lot more
I like
entertaining.
that.
I think the players having to play their life more cautiously allowed for a lot different strategy and just more exciting gameplay. I think overall.
But we got to talk about this, right? The continuing rivalry that was starting to brew. We saw it in a few of the PvPs, right? Because Fire Breath Man, I think, took down Technoblade in the first Hunger Games. He also drops him in round 2 of Spleef. These two are starting to make things interesting. We saw a fantastic performance when it came down to TNT Run leading into Dropper for Technoblade, but for the most part, right, the main highlight when it came down to Spleef was Fire's reign. His fantastic moments throughout all of these rounds finished off, you know, first and 2 out of the 3. I think he made, what, top 10 in terms of round 3 as well. So it was constantly up in the mix. He and Player were doing some damage. Just go and take a look at our scoreboard and take a look at this, right? One solid game mode. The overall player list is starting to shift. Fire Breath Man and Player leading, but just by a very slim amount, 4 points to be exact, as Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo just on their tracks. As we've got C-Scoop and Travs leading up in that 3rd place spot. And there's XQC and Moxie. We talked about, right, one solid game mode. Can they start to move their way forward? And it seems as if they have.
Yeah, from 5th to 4th. Not bad at all. Actually, Nine, we were talking before the broadcast, and you were saying this week is going to be totally different because everybody's going to be even. You mentioned that, of course, at the beginning of the broadcast. It seems as if this week is by far one of the most competitive weeks we've seen as of yet because by now we're seeing a 100-point lead.
We've seen like a lead change, I think, after every single game for,
Pretty
for the
much.
most
We
part.
have.
Not every
About,
single
yeah.
one, but
Yeah, we talked about how this was going to be a 2-horse race. We thought it was going to be Bad Boy Halo and Skeppy and Scoop and Travis. And yeah, they're up there. They're 2nd and 3rd. Wait, 2nd and 3rd? Who is this new team?
Yeah, right.
So we said there'd be some consistency. We did not expect the fresh faces to make the impact that they have. And I'm starting to think as well, speaking of XQC and Moxie, I'm starting to think that shooter players might be okay at Spleef. I'm starting to
I
think
could see
there's
that.
a, there's a skill set that transfers Speedy and Sidearms knowing a little bit about shooters as well.
Well, imagine if you get an enchanted bow. XQC hands? Like, come on. He's going to
that's
be
true.
dominating. Moxie, too. Moxie, I got to say,
Hanzo.
he is
There you go.
seriously, right? Coming out, Overwatch, kind of
The
playing a
vibes, you
huge
know?
factor.
Yeah, 100%. But here we go, loading in toward our 5th game of 9 as we're heading toward what is my personal favorite, Battle Arena. I think we actually do have a new arena for this week. I know we're kind of changing things up from time to time, but the way that you earn points is you earn 10 points per elimination. First place will walk away with 30 points, second place 10 points. Third place will walk away with 6, and every time a player ends up dropping, you will earn 2 survival points per each player that drops. So with that in mind, you also do have somewhat of a countdown timer. If you notice in the middle right of our screen, it says PvP enabled in. So in 6 minutes and 48 seconds, PvP will be allowed. But for the beginning stages, you are given a few different, tool items. You get pretty much a full kit when it comes down to stone. You got some stakes, so you're good in that department. Just a matter of mining and where to find the items. And if you guys remember last week, it was a discussion of, okay, who are we going to send players kind of toward the top layer, toward the bottom layer?
Yeah.
Somehow Preston, in 6 minutes, managed to get 64 iron ores. I don't know how that was accomplished. I don't know how that was possible, but he is clearly the mining legend.
Someone to watch out for sure. And don't forget, right, Mitch, Bayesian Canadian going through, digging the tunnels as he was. He was absolutely deadly. He almost ran into, actually he did run into lava once and quickly placed a block down, heads up play. But he was the kind of guy in the darkness being that deciding factor,
being
surprising a lot of players. So pretty awesome to see. Fire Breathman already crafting something himself. Got some players mining up a little bit, and so now it's kind of a matter, right? Do we send over here at the village? Okay. I think this is our observer. I was wondering, what is this player doing?
No, these are the observers. These are actually
Let's see what they look like.
wonderful stuff. So I'll tell you what I am curious about here. And this is not something I anticipated in really wondering about or enjoying. How is Carson going to sabotage Techno in this game? That is the question, because we've seen offering no help in the Hunger Games, actively trying to beat him in Spleef.
A bucket of lava.
A bucket of lava.
Bucket of lava. That's the way you do it.
Look at that, actually. If you look toward the left side of our screen, you see a ton of mobs, a skeleton spawner as well, and I think Fire Breath Man may hear this. That's a ton of experience you also get inside of that chest. That could be quite a bit of good loot, but is Fire Breath Man going to engage? He's got to hear them. He 100% hears the spawner, and I think he's about to engage. So, yes, aware of it. He's starting to see that grassy cobblestone, going for the engagements. Has to be careful, but we know who this is, right? We know it's Fire Breath Man. This guy is not going to mess around, and just off toward his side is going to be his teammate, his squad mate, Mr. Player, joining quickly inside and actually makes his way out of the spawner room, and that's where a lot of these mobs are going to be. So this is actually a good moment for them. If they can get some of these creepers, some of these mobs taken down, they could be sitting pretty well when it comes down to the enchanting side of things. If they can, though, get their hands on the enchanting table.
Enchanting table, of course, being such a big aspect of the Hunger Games. Of course, you got to have that and a big boom behind Player who tanks it like an absolute champ.
No big deal. Ain't no problem.
They always say cool guys don't look at explosions. Apparently, cooler guys don't feel explosions. So that's part of it as well, as experience going to be a ton of. Now, the enchanting table, of course, is a difficult thing to build, so not nearly as big of a thing. We've seen Carson, who has done nothing so far that I have seen, running around, you see, has not even bothered to use the shovel nor the pick. So I think that this may be all we get from Carson over the course of this game.
Does it surprise you?
No. I was expecting a little more creativity,
honestly,
I'll be honest here.
If I'm Technopick, I'm like, hey, Carson, just get enough wood so you could just build a sky base and just chill up there for a little bit. Get the survival points.
That would be brilliant, actually.
But will Carson do it? Not a chance. Carson's like, listen, I was trying to eliminate you in Spleef. You think I'm really going to help you out in this game? Absolutely not. Fire Breath Man digging down, about to find a vein, so he might be able to potentially find some good stuff.
Well, one by one, we talk about how nerve-wracking it is. It's the #1 rule in Minecraft, along with a multitude of things. But hey, see some success, doesn't end up getting taken down. And I think Player was typing in chat something along the lines of some diamonds. So I think that team may or may have not have earned those particular items when it comes down to PvP later on. Is the 2-minute warning coming through? And look at this!
And who else? Fire Breath Man, come on.
They found the diamonds, that's for sure. And wow,
that's a ton of diamonds.
That's certainly two diamonds.
It's a massive clump.
That's certainly 2 diamond swords, and that might be enough for diamond swords and a couple pieces of
iron behind it.
It keeps coming.
And lapis. I'm kidding. Lapis.
Yeah,
no one cares.
lapis. Wait, are you kidding me?
This is the largest clump of all time.
And it ends
Eventually.
Does it?
Like, he's going for
Does it?
lapis. Just, you know,
Does
we'll
it?
measure.
That's an enchanting table. I believe you need lapis
Yep.
for enchantment. So
Yeah.
we see James Charles here finding some iron as well.
This block, man. I
there
tell
we
you
go.
what. I think maybe there's an additive toward the game. I think that they're not earning ores; they're literally just earning the entity of the block. So I don't think that there's no. Or I don't think they actually do need any more.
So they don't need coal. That's nice.
Right. They don't need coal. They don't need to try to make any of the furnaces. So they could be good and well off. So that's going to allow for players to get a lot easier kitted up, a lot faster times for those. So that's great in terms of the how fast this game moves, because we talked about it. You only have so much time in order to craft an entirety of things.
And speaking of which, look who's fully kitted up in iron. The Iron King himself, Preston.
Yeah.
I am not surprised that he managed to find enough to do all that this early.
I love how this is just a lovely, flowerful meadow. And as we start to progress ourselves a little bit, there's just countless trees on fire, just, you know, filling it out as you would. And Skevy actually has taken some fire as well, along with him.
I think Preston actually took some gold over to his left. I think Preston took a bucket of lava, so things could get interesting moving forward, especially towards final circle.
Do we know if top is legal this time? Do we know
That is
if
the
backslash
well,
top is legal?
Last week it was legal, right? I think we asked beforehand, but it might be.
And I remember last week, it was a pretty big dominance, I'm going to say, from Bajan and co. Yeah, it was Bajan Canadian and his teammate. They were kind of hanging out toward the top side. And there was a number of different players. I think it might have even been, who was his longtime teammate that we were discussing countlessly about?
Jerome?
Oh,
Jerome.
Yep.
Jerome was trying to make his way up the side of the mountain, and we were waiting for him to finally get his chance. So we talked about it, Bajan Canadian, how dominant he was in the low ground. He ended up making his presence very well felt when it came down to the center. But with only, a few moments left, 30 seconds to be exact, who's going to make that first push for that mid area, right, in terms of fighting for that crafting, rather for that enchanting table? Who's going to be the first one to try to make the progression? As Nolan Dark just could not be more excited for PvP.
Well, I want to
He's
say
stoked.
Dolan is, he's chilling. When it comes to Preston, full iron though, that's going to be massive. But is it going to be able to have an effect against the diamond that we saw a little bit earlier? And Fire Breath Man and Player, if they could make it over to the enchantment table first, that is going to be massive. But honestly, I think we might have a battle between them as well as Preston early on, which could be huge.
And being able to get the jump is so important as well, right? Because these players are all coming out of tunnels here. They haven't really gotten a chance to see the lay of the land. So you might be able to get a jump on them, especially if they're near the corner. Meanwhile, we see Cupquake doing their thing job. And that's a lot of diamond on Fire Breath Man right now. A chest plate and a helm. And you have to assume that a weapon was made too, right?
Oh, 100%.
100%.
That's got to be one of the first things for sure. And we're discussing where I'm sure it's going to be evenly distributed, or if not, as evenly as it can be. So that's going to be not only just a helmet, a chest plate, it's also going to be a sword along with his teammates that I'm sure he earns as well. So you already noticed, right? He's checking that player compass. He's immediately seeking out players already off the start who, as we talked about, getting the jump. You were mentioning it, 9. I think this is his goal right now, is to already try to find players.
Well, this is where the points come from, so there's no reason not to.
Oh, no.
See Grande and Dolan Dark. And
Where did we go to their perspective? Wait. They
had
just
some
tossed
diamond-
over Diamond Sword to
they
each
did,
other.
and they had a diamond pick as well, so they have stuff.
Okay.
They have stuff to do stuff with, and
But what stuff can they do?
well,
Like,
I'm wondering if that is who is currently being pursued
That's what I was
by
thinking,
Fire
yeah.
Breath Man, and you know, if they both have those weapons,
Oh, man.
this might be a little risky actually, but you know, you got to get the points. So
The fact that he's by himself, too, is so risky. He doesn't even have player with him.
I don't even think he cares. Like, honestly.
Fire Breath Man's a savage.
He is, though. And, well, I mean, the Hunger Games is basically won simply by him. Player, ended up being eliminated early on. So Fire Breath Man can definitely hold his weight. And if he runs in to Dolan Dark,
Oh, wait, no, his
Grande,
teammate
that
is
could be
with him.
massive.
His teammate is
Was
with him.
he
I
just
think
right
there was
behind him?
I think there was a player model that just went toward his right, and we have a glare on our screens here at the studio. So apologies for that. Make ourselves more blind, which I definitely do not need. But
Yeah, I'm losing it.
but I think that he does have his teammate with him, so that's going to be nice. So not traveling alone is going to have a stable party for the time. But yeah, I think they may be chasing Dolan Dark and
I think
Grande at
that's
this
okay.
moment. Definitely a possibility. I mean, if they're going down a ton of different layers. That happens to be where Dolan Dark and Grande are right now.
There's also an Enderman down there as well.
Who's
so
off in the distance? Ballistic Squid.
I think
This is who they were chasing. And Ballistic Squid is aware of this. You can see that.
Why
He's-
does he just keep looking?
Well, he's shifting because he doesn't want them to see his player name.
I think he just topped. I think he just got out of there fast.
Wow.
All that digging out. Where did he go? He's got to be here. He's got to be here.
Oh, he's looking. He's like, where's he at?
He's at the top
He's at a
already.
dead end.
Oh, no.
They were duped. They were duped, folks.
I didn't
Oh,
see.
is he going to dig down
No,
further?
he pressed top too.
Oh,
Okay.
I was going to say, if he digs down any further and lands in a pit of lava.
After all that.
They're on the hunt, though. They're out. They're on the top player, and they're starting to see some names. Building up quickly, placing down that cobblestone. Get me up this mountain faster. And there they are on the side of a mountain. Fire Breath Man looking like a V2 of Technoblade coming on the side and trying to focus early on toward Rage.
But that's Diamond, too.
That is Diamond, but if he can find that Elim, which he's looking very primed to do so, that is extra iron that he's going to earn for his team. And yes, Fire Breath Man takes down Elixir, and players being ultra careful, wanting to join alongside of his teammate who's currently distracted by a spider coming in from the top. And Factions Raven could be saying goodnight if he's not careful. Taking some shots from afar, and there he goes. Fire Breath Man 2 for 2.
That's a ton of Diamond going their way, too. So that feels good. A player off in the distance. Fire Breath Man, he's going to call that out, probably go on to pursuit, but he is vicious.
Well, Technoblade also fires back as well. Gosh, I want to see these two match up against each other. I want to see this 1v1 start to develop because they're the first ones who want to roam. They're the first ones who feel confident enough to go out and try to seek these eliminations.
Can we please ask if the players are willing to just give up all of their diamond so that we can get two fully kitted diamonds fighting at the end?
You know what should happen is that we all just pause. We say, okay, you know what? Technoblade on one side. We got Fire on the other side. Place your bets. Bet points.
Of course, I already knew he was going to be here. Come on.
Well, now he's got the
Wait,
chance to
Bayesian
bless.
and James just died from stuffing their head in a block?
Buff border, they said. So the border, the map claims another. And so does Preston and Carson.
Hey, Border's just better, honestly.
And Scoop, what is going on? The world's strongest border.
And Technoblade is looking at this kill feed as in like, okay, well, there goes my teammate Carson. No big deal. There goes the entirety of the lobby.
Well,
all right.
I think there's finally a force more powerful than the casters here.
Yeah, there definitely
It's
are.
the border.
Oh, Technoblade on the flank. They're not expecting this whatsoever. Totally caught off guard. Oh, no. This is just not looking oh so good. They placed down the lava the
and
water
water.
as well. But nothing can stop Technoblade.
No.
Earth, wind, fire, everything in the
man.
bag. Nothing
They gave him a
accomplished.
golden apple, too. That's a little scary there. And Techno, like you said, is going to get kitted out. And, you know, the fact that Techno was able to be the first back up to mid, I think is significant. Because now, look, people are going to try to go there.
Oh, no.
And they're going to run right into Techno. So
Preston, who died by the border, had 23 diamonds.
That's all, huh? This guy's I don't know what it is, a mining genius. He knows exactly how to get the good stuff.
Definitely so.
We saw really good kits on both Moxie and XQC here, so they're going to go on the pursuit, taking out
Never
a poor
stood a chance.
spider who happened to be on the spot.
Never stood a chance.
But we're starting to see that all of our remaining players are very, very well kitted up, and honestly, what might make the difference now is the fact that Techno got to the enchantment table first.
Yeah.
And again, if it's a 2v1 against players of this caliber, I'm not even sure he can pull it off, but still, that is a difference. As we see Donnie,
Oh, no.
this is a strategy, though.
For surviving, yes. They will definitely.
But the zone's
Be doing
moving in,
so.
guys. The
They-
zone is moving in.
They are really determined. That border is strong.
They're trying to
There's
get
What's
lava
going on?
below them.
What's going on right now?
I-
They're about to be overtaken by this.
What are they doing?
Oh, they topped. They topped. They
Well,
realized.
Grande just.
Oh, so Technoblade just took down Red.
Dolan's gone.
Dolan, Ballistic
Grande's
Squid,
gone.
Grande, all falling. And like we talked about that border, you do not want to mess with it. It seems maybe just a quick little run-in, and you are immediately dropping. Donnie Bulb says, oh, it's nice to be up here. Oh, my gosh, this is such a wonderful day. But Phil says here, instantly as they come out with full diamond everything. And Donnie Bobes back to the respawn screen, rooting on his teammate who's absolutely going to need it right now. Jack on the prowl, barely doing any hits. However, just as the engagement starts to happen, look at this. Skeppy, Bad Boy Halo. This is going to be a fun one. We're all diamond out, but who is the enemy? Who's the opposition? It's Philza, and he's about to feel
How is he alive?
the pressure as he goes down. A valiant effort.
Well, who else is another
Oh,
one?
XQC, the ultimate 3P coming through, and here comes the lava.
Oh, no.
Just to add to the mix, I think Moxie accidentally hit that one for XQC, so he's lit up because of Moxie's earlier placement, goes for the gapple, and now comes in for the sneak attack. Skeppy has got to be low on HP. Moxie's back up to nearly full, but you see them on the run, on the chase. And who is this? Another squad
He's
still in
trying to
middle.
build.
Desperately trying to place, but you can't place that many blocks near the center.
Bucket of lava. He does. Okay. What?
Save the cows. Run. Oh,
Oh, and
Skeppy
he
actually
gets
gets hit. What a play from Moxie.
Moxie's
and
a
grabs
beast.
it up. He grabs it up again. This is unbelievable. He somehow got another golden apple. He's ready to go. And Ant Venom and Captain Sparkles, they're holding valiantly in middle. There is so many fights going down right now. So many 3P opportunities. Yami escapes, and Moxie thinks he's still being chased, but that's not actually happening. No one's really behind him right now. It's just a matter of the zone that happens to be on his backside. But Skeppy, everyone trying to make it in, trying to be careful. Moxie immediately experiencing the
that
outskirts.
zone.
And they place him back. They block him inside of the storm, the barrier. It takes him down.
What in the world? This is the craziest battle arena we have ever witnessed.
Look at all these.
Fire Breath Man just took down
humans.
3.
And there goes Techno, the only person not wearing diamond armor. And these are big, big points. It's all the big teams that are still left.
This is the craziest
This is like first and second right now in terms
Yeah.
of
in points.
how
on the
important
leaderboard,
this
yeah.
is. So player quickly trying to reference back, wanting to get back up in terms of full health. And both teams just swinging at each other. Nothing overall accomplished. No eliminations, if you will, coming through. And Captain Sparkles and Ant Venom, much like they were last week, we talked about, right? The kind of the old men hanging back, just enjoying it all from the Muppets, right? Just kind of having a few laughs, making a few jokes, but no one's going to be laughing once you start to engage. And I think Skeppy walked over toward the numerous water placements that are on either side. And he's like, oh, I can go ahead and take this one. So added that toward his water bucket.
Yeah.
As we're down to our final few teams, 8 players to be specific.
Everybody just taking their time.
I love
thinking
this.
about what, because
Every single angle, there are players.
Exactly. So third-party opportunities. That's what everyone is waiting on. Because you get into an engagement, you know very well
This is
there's gonna be
incredible.
another team coming on the flank. So you have to be cautious and be cognizant as to what is about to go down. And
4
honestly,
full teams.
Captain Sparkles and Ant Venom are right in the middle of all of these teams. They're literally right in the middle of every single team.
Oh, man, this is like your worst nightmare, but at the same time, a positive, if you will. Like an Obi-Wan and Mace Windu, right? Just back-to-back, just ready to engage whenever anybody wants to make it happen. And I think this is as far in as the zone's going to move. Yeah, once you get toward this stage in Battle Arena, it's not going to close in any farther. So it's about who wants to go for the engagement first.
I see one inching his way up there.
That's
slowly
Skeppy.
but surely.
Skeppy wants to fight.
He's hungry. These are some of the top teams right now. This says a lot, right? This we discuss in terms of the way that Battle Arena works. This is where you earn a majority of those points. The players who dominate in PvP, this is kind of your swing game mode, the one that you're hanging on to.
Preston saying somebody team up on player and fire breath.
Oh, the zone's moving again.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think Lake just calls it out. He says, good luck, have fun. And they were tired of the stagnant play.
Center.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is going to
They
get
have 2.
So someone's going to make a move, right? Ant Venom and
You
Captain
have to.
Sparkles, they're looking in every direction.
Oh, okay, player just below. Kind of thinking, like, do we want to just take the low ground?
Cuddle it out instead. I respect that.
Not a bad choice.
Definitely not.
Inching
slowly
forward.
moving his way
But every
forward.
team does not want to be three-peat, right? Each team doesn't want to go for the engage, take damage, and then lose it themselves. Bad Boy Halo, I thought for a moment,
Please, my
accidentally placed things
audience's
down.
attention.
My audience retention. Techno always looking out for number 1.
I love it. Hey, number 1 is what matters most.
Somebody.
What?
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 I don't know what's going on. My mind is going to explode.
Skeppy is flying, and he has fireworks shooting from his skull.
Skeppy obliterates all in a second.
None of us know what happened, for the record.
Did Skeppy, like, put something in chat, like, eliminate everyone? I mean, what, just...
Skeppy just handed a quick little $5 bill across the table and says, okay, let's go and get this one done. All right, Lake? I have no idea what happened.
Skeppy is
That was building up for like one of the greatest moments in
then
Minecraft
they
Monday
just all
history,
explode.
and then they just all eliminated,
Do
except
all
for
those-
Skeppy. I don't know how that works out.
Do all of those points go to Skeppy? Because if that's the case.
If they're all in sequence, I feel like how does that get decided? Like in terms of who earns the points and who does not.
Oh, but on a less silly note here, so many people getting taken out by that border means there's not going to be nearly as many points to be distributed. we didn't see as many fights. So this is, I think, going to be another PvP round where we have a lower score. And that's, again, very interesting because we've talked about this is the mode to really build your points in.
I will say, though, that was the most entertaining thing I've ever casted, I think, in Minecraft Monday.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Genuinely.
Like, when it comes to Battle Arena, it never disappoints. It's always so much fun to watch, of course, along with regular Hunger Games, but this is just always a blast. And what a perfect perspective this was to look at. Shout out to the observers. That was literally the perfect time to switch because we just got to watch everybody drop instantly as maybe based off the back of that Skeppy Bad Boy Halo, they retain and hold on, rather progress onto that first place position as they are now locking that one down. 679 overall score. Fire Breath Man and player, they're right there, but take a look at that big kind of follow-up that we're starting to see. 457, 455 for C-Scoop and Travis along with Technoblit and Carson. We're going to need to see, a few solid games in a row for them to try and retake this lead because if they stay where they're at, if they continue to kind of fall behind, they're going to either be at a 200-point deficit, if not more, as time goes on.
Yeah, and I think the next game mode that's coming up, Find the Button, is probably going to be one of the best ones Carson is going to be able to do, right? We've seen a couple players eliminate themselves, though, with the fire, with the lava. They do respawn, which we were kind of like shocked about last week. But I think Carson's going to do decently well here. There's nobody to eliminate, and all you got to do is just click a button. That's it.
True.
So
that's all you got to do.
He can't even hold himself back here.
As simple as it sounds, it's
He can't even hold himself
Can't even hold
back
himself back here. It's going to be simple.
He might actually try to, like, in the middle of trying to melee Technoblade, accidentally hit a button along the way. So that could,
yeah. So there you go.
That could be something.
What a plot twist. Now, one thing that I will say as we get into this is that the remaining modes that are here, with the exception, of course, of the last Hunger Games, there aren't really ways to prevent the opponent from scoring.
No.
So I think that this is going to be a very difficult comeback for any of these teams to make. The reason that C-Scoop and Traps are so far back now is because they got eliminated very, very early in that battle arena before they could even get any elimination. So very unfortunate for them, but right now all they can do is try to score. And, you know, following Mr. Minecraft himself, not a bad strategy for Travis here if you're trying to build some points.
Definitely not. I forget how many buttons are actually on this map, but I know there's a lot to keep the teams going for at least a time limit, which is in fact 10 minutes. As the fire is there, so another way to maybe eliminate yourself. But from what I'm hearing, there's 83 buttons on the map.
Well, that's all, huh?
That's it. Just 83 buttons.
Someone pressed it. Someone put out the fire. Someone just put out the flames. Okay.
Oh, and the players are stuck. Fantastic.
So that's a strategy. Just keep everybody in the same spot. Bad Boy Halo teleported. I guess he's kind of chilling.
Ooh, Fire Breath Man.
Next to lava. Very fitting.
Has to be careful because we talk about you get put in these situations. And Fire Breath Man, I'm stuck. Help! I'm trapped. Can somebody save me? Oh no, this is looking
Who's
like
blocking them all? Ballistics, Cupquake, Lack.
They're helping him out. They're helping him out. So we're good. So shout out, doing all he can, saving everybody who went on an unfortunate little journey. It was almost like a movie was forming, where you get stuck in the foreign temple, and the moderator just comes and saves everybody. So that's always nice. But everybody finding button. That's the 10th button already found for Ballistic Squid and SB. So they're already off to a very hot start.
That is. I believe last time, what was it? 11, somewhere in that range was the
highest
limit, the
yeah.
highest. So that someone is already at 10.
Oh no.
I think. Oh my goodness.
Asian and Ballistic Squid. They found their 10th or 11th button, but it came at a cost.
I think Squid is more happy than Bayesian, given the fact that he's a squid in water. As fire comes through, please let me have some water. I'm on fire. Please let me hop in.
Preston's like, oh, that must really suck to be down there, guys. And they're like, yeah, but you're on fire, so you kind of need to be where we're at. Everyone's calling out, Lake, please help us. Look at this, though. Donnie Bobes going for some parkour.
You definitely have to sometimes.
No, okay. Making his way alongside the
It is
building.
enforced by law that you not pass beyond this point for your own safety and the worker's safety. Yet there's 10 people behind that point. Clearly, we don't follow directions very well. Fire Breath Man running past that point, too. You know, it's always like those signs you see, like at museums or in the cave or wherever you're at. It's like, do not touch the art. Yeah, you touch it anyways, right? Or don't touch that, like, historical car. But you touch it. You're like, I got to touch it. I got to put my mark.
Put your mark.
Hey, listen, touching history. When I was in Savannah, that's where they filmed Forrest Gump sitting on the bench in one of the parks. And I went to the museum when they had one of the benches. Said, "Do not sit on it." I had to sit on it. Come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
I had to sit where Forrest Gump
It's
was
about
sitting.
Forrest Gump. This is something
Well,
totally different.
but there,
yeah.
there was a rope blocking me sitting on it. But
Gotcha.
I still went
What happens
past
when
that
you
rope.
were escorted out? What happened after that?
Wasn't a good time. Made Savannah News. No, none of that happened. I did sit on the bench, though. Pretty awesome.
Sounds like it.
Tom Hanks. Great actor.
Fantastic.
We need to get
actor.
Tom Hanks in Minecraft Monday.
That'd be sick. I
Could
would
you
love that.
imagine?
Put him with Technoblade. Top 5. There
I
you
was
go,
gonna
Tom.
say
There.
easy top 5.
Oh, looks like someone's made it up there. Ant Venom. Okay. Love to see that. Skeppy just behind him, and Skeppy just a little bit short. Oh, and Ant Venom, I think. Okay, no. Okay, they got toward a different point of the map. It seems. I thought that maybe they were
can't
blocked
get
off.
up that way. They have to. They
Oh.
have to parkour it.
I'm very
And
lost.
if
I
Ant
thought that they
Venom
made
gets
it.
up there and doesn't find a button, that is going to be something miraculous. Looks like Donnie is up here as well. So Skeppy did find it. So they've all hit it.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
I didn't even see that, actually. Very nice.
Wonderful stuff.
Oh, now,
Okay. Ant.
can you parkour up all the way to that roof? Maybe. I guess you can't.
Who knows? There are so many
I-
little
yeah.
items that you can try to find and make happen, but
I feel after like 5-7 minutes of playing this game, you start going crazy. Like, did I touch this button? Did I not touch this button? You
there's
start
probably
clicking everything.
and we talked about like what there's like
83, yeah.
15th button found for Think Noodles and Dan. I think even last week this is like one of their best game modes by far. I remember them being in that conversation for like 9-10 as well. So by far one of their best game modes. And look at that. I didn't even see it. Producer literally had to call out that we were staring at a button. I didn't even see it. It's literally right in front of us though.
So do
on
you
that
just have to
cobblestone.
You have to
jump
fall.
off the side.
Well,
Oh,
we'll find
no,
out.
no. You could stealth your way over.
Look at
Great
that.
work to Moxie.
The timing on that, too.
Stream. Yeah, we're
Darn it, Moxie.
wonderful stuff there. But I believe Techno and Carson currently at 10, which is remarkable because it would not surprise me if Carson has found a grand total of 0 of them, which makes that even more exciting. But Moxie keeping them up
There's a
at 10
second
as
one.
well. So,
There's a second one right
oh,
in the heart
that one you definitely
of the
have to
iron.
fall.
yep.
Oh,
that's a miss.
Let's see if Cap Sparkles can hit it. He does. 15th button found for those two. And along with that, Log.zip, Teaming Our Frags, Skeppy, Bad Boy Halo, everyone's finding their 15th.
It's pretty impressive.
It
I
is.
think, I don't know if it's just the buttons are in an easier spot or more obvious spots. I mean, this is clearly not an easy button to hit.
No.
But you would at least know this button is here. So we're starting to see some elements of some parkour-based buttons as opposed to just the more just hidden under little small things.
Lack actually just said 80% of the buttons are in the main area. So, like, just that, the big open area. Because, and that's the thing when it comes to this game, it kind of plays, games with you, literally, where you start thinking, okay, I got to find the buttons. So you start looking in the most obscure places.
Right, exactly.
And doing parkour where it's not necessary. Some buttons are literally, well, as he says, 80% of the buttons are just out in the open, where you can easily find them. And sometimes hiding things in the direct open
Oh,
is the most...
press the nose. He knows. I think that's a slab placed just underneath or something to allow for yourself to be able to look through the chest. And he sees a button that may just be in the little fold, little point of view that we had oftentimes in commentating, which is about threading the needle. Well, in that instance, he's looking to try and make sure he can find that little point of view. Unfortunately, we'll have to see if that can happen over time. Didn't get to see it on our perspective for that moment, but
I don't think you can get up here.
they still got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to work with, right until this game obviously ends up being closed out. But I think Ballistic Squid actually made it out of what we'll call the castle, the chasm.
I didn't think you could
And that
get
may
up
be
here.
a positive or a negative. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure, to be
Can you,
honest.
can you get back in?
I
That's
have
the
no
real
clue.
question.
Just wait, there's going to be like an aura of buttons placed on like this
you
shrine
imagine?
just outside. Like, okay, that's where all the buttons are. There we go.
Just 30 buttons all in a row.
Right next to each other.
Just,
Ballistic Squid has found his 20th, 25th, 30th, 35th.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, what is going on? Interesting stuff. I swear I just heard a villager.
You did. I think you did.
Is there a villager on this map?
Somebody lives in these houses, Taylor.
Oh, okay. I think Ant Venom actually just hit a. I know he didn't get credit for the button. I think they already found it, but I didn't see the one block that everyone was trying to jump for. It was just on top of the edge of the roof. And there's another one just on the top of the bookshelf. Man, Ant Venom. Well, he's
See?
not being credited for these. He knows exactly where to look.
See, that's the thing, though, right? Him or his partner have already touched the buttons, Therefore, he's starting to go crazy. He's like, have I touched this one? Have I touched this one? Have I touched this one? Oh, yes, I have. Okay, I got to go find another one. So you start losing track of where
too
you've
good.
been.
You're just too good.
It's crazy to me that there's 83 buttons, and I think the highest we've got right now is 15 buttons pressed.
I think so.
Somewhere in there. No, but we haven't seen a 20th roll around the bottom, so I believe it shows every 5. So right now we might have somebody at 17, 18, 19, something along those lines. Player asking to just escape, end it all.
A minute
Get
left.
out
There's
of
still
the
some
map.
valuable time.
I think
Some
those
valuable
players did
seconds.
leave. I'm pretty sure this is where the buttons are at, and people were leaving, going to the outside.
You never know.
I don't. This is 80%
Everyone's
of the
around
buttons.
this position, though, for some reason. I think that this was the one point of view that maybe a lot of buttons weren't accomplished or weren't found at. And there's one just on the side of the tree. Quite a few players possibly already finding that one, or maybe for the first time. And Technoblade, as a king would, looking over his kingdom, just enjoying it all, as a king would not do, running alongside the walls. That's not ideal.
A king can do what he wants to do.
That is what. That's
Smart
a
or
king for you.
not.
Yeah, a king can do whatever they want. That's the benefit of being a king. See Joey down here. This is where
Joey,
the
be
fire
careful.
was
Oh,
earlier.
yeah, yeah.
Well, they put the extra block. I forgot. I was going
Yep.
to say Joey is not going to escape. Not going to have a great time.
10 seconds.
We see somebody get to the 20th.
15. I think 15 is honestly the max that we've seen.
Wow.
83 buttons and only 15?
Like that's it. TVNR frags. We don't know exactly how many that they found, but possibly in the 17, 18, 19 range. But like we said, never saw a 20th. But hey, like I said, it was very competitive toward the end of things. We saw a decent amount of teams kind of all in that 15 conversation. So I'll be honest, not a whole lot that changes up, though. In terms of who found the button first, that's where we could start to see a little bit of the discrepancy in terms of the points. But I think for the most part, obviously Find the Button is a fantastic game. It's obviously fun to watch, but it isn't going to change the overall landscape of the score in terms of that much. But look at the score now. Not too far away is Fire Breath Man and player from that first place position.
And one team that's fallen off a bit in that round was actually XQC and Moxie, it looks
Wow,
like.
they fell off a ton.
They did. Now, for what it's worth, they are still decently close to that 6th place spot. Logdog Zip and Preston, you saw, marked as the winners of that with the top score, so doing a great job there. But again, there is that gap between the top 2 and the rest of the field.
Absolutely. As we take a look at our scoreboard for what seems to be maybe the final time, we're getting ready to head in toward Run from Lava, followed up by Bingo Hunt and some more Hunger Games. Like we talked about, guys, we're down for just 3 more. Do not go anywhere. More awesome Minecraft Monday action coming up right after this.
What if I had my own G Fuel flavor? Introducing Cotton Candy G Fuel. Get it now at gfuel.com.
too close or too far away. It's much too early, or it's far too late. Maybe I'm too old now, or just afraid that you'll walk away. Just a glance is all it took for me to fall, but you don't even know that you were looking at me. And when you smile, smile with your eyes that pass right over me, like I'm as out of place as it feels to be. You're a little too close or too far away. It's much too early, or it's far too late.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Minecraft Monday, week number 5, as we are 6 games through, getting ready to head in toward Run from Lava. Now, for those who were with us last week, there were a few updates. The lava, from what I have been told, has changed up a little bit in terms of the overall speed, so
Yeah.
definitely something to kind of keep in mind. We may actually see someone survive this time. We talked about it's Run from Lava. Last week, it was pretty much Survive from Lava. No one managed to accomplish that, but we'll see if that can be changed up this week. As of course, it's Lando Reflections, Ironhole Grains, like we said, diving in toward our kind of our third quadrant, if you will, of Minecraft Monday for this week, and got a few teams kind of toward the top lines. I'm curious, this could be the moment, right? You make a good run and Run from Lava, you could be in a pretty good spot to try to contend those top 2.
I have to say, I have been very excited for this simply because of last week. If you guys don't know, for every person that is eliminated, that's when the lava starts to speed up, right?
Yep.
And it starts to catch you, and before you know it, it's right on your heels. We didn't see anybody complete the course last week, and we might not see that again. Now,
Might not.
I'm very curious, but I'm extremely excited about this one simply because it puts a lot of pressure on those top-level players.
It does. And how good is Fire Breath Dragon going to be?
That's the question.
How are we going to see that? I did get out my stopwatch for everyone who was curious. Last week, we didn't get to see it. The week before, Techno completed it about 3 minutes faster than everyone else. Last week, he was one of the final 2, along with Preston.
Yep.
But we got to see someone finish it this time, right? Just for the fun of it, for the viewers.
And this is a moment, right? We talked about, like, Preston kind of hasn't really been in that conversation of being on the top team at this time. Well, this could be your opportunity, right, to really start to rise to the occasion as we discuss 12 different levels, as we hear a very angry Ghast already on the outside, and there's that lava already beginning to flow. Everyone's got to be careful of their positions. Like we said, 12 different stages. The way that you earn points isn't actually from survival. You actually do not earn any points from survival. It is solely based on how you place in the end. So you're actually awarded 50 points for first, 40 for second, 30 for third. You get 15 points for anyone else that manages to survive in terms of after the first 3 that have been completed. And you also do earn 10 points per every single level that you complete.
Okay.
So no points per in terms of surviving. It's just a matter of how far you can progress yourself. It's kind of the main frame of the game. As already a few players making their way through the icy level, it seems.
Yeah, and there are, in fact, 12 levels, so you have to be quick. And Techno, being this ice level is pretty massive. He's moving a lot better this week, I think, than he was last week. Because last week, I'm not going to lie, he seemed to be struggling quite a bit. Because first week, if you guys remember, literally was flawless.
Who's on his heels?
Preston right on his heels, kind of filling in for that Vic Star role, who we know was on his heels definitely on that first week.
He just overtook Techno, I think. Techno fell off the start here on the sand level.
Rusty, they said.
This is a separate skill set, too, which is why it's always so fun to watch these players work on this.
Oh, no.
Already one going down, and looks like Preston makes it through that. I believe Techno here as well, but that's Fire Breath Man actually ahead of him, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little hard to see the names as they bounce up and down, but that's a really long name that starts with an F, and it was Fire Breath Man overtaking. So this might be 3 people in this race now, and I think
crazy.
we're getting our answer as to how good Fire Breath Man is.
He's great.
At Run from Lava.
He's great.
Simply, he's great.
He's a great player. That's all there is to say about it. My goodness, like we said, a very interesting contention right now for some of the top positions in this game, but once you get toward this level, it makes it a whole lot more difficult. And it looks as if that Lava's starting to make its way through. Who is that? Who's unfortunately about to fall? It's going to be Lauren. No! Hate to see that. Not going to be earning quite a bit of points when it comes down to that position, but delaying the inevitable. And
Look at how
unfortunately for her,
close they are.
unfortunately for her, though, that only is going to allow for the Lava to move that much quicker. But yeah, neck and neck. Technoblade, TBNR frags. This is getting good.
Definitely is. Man, these guys are maneuvering quickly, going through the invincible blocks now as Techno kind of getting a
This
little,
is how you
little
do it,
stuck
Preston.
there. Yeah, definitely showing him a thing or two
Jeez.
in this level.
And this is not easy. Like for those
It's
who have not played Minecraft, like this isn't just, oh yeah, you just jump. Like no, it is actually very, very difficult to accomplish what these guys are doing. They're making it look so simple, and it's not that way whatsoever. It's incredible the fact that these guys are doing this right now as Iron Man, Fire Breath Man makes it onto the Iron level, so not too far away from these guys, but it looks as if he did get slowed up a little bit.
Definitely so. Good race. Good race we have going on. Much better, I think, than last week that we saw. I do like the dynamic between Preston and Techno, especially when it comes to this. And a nice, clean section as he's getting very close to catching up to Techno himself, as he's going to be on the last portion. He's going to be the invisible
This is always a
blocks,
hard
and,
one.
It is. And Preston, he's going to be leading the charge, falls down. And this is Techno's opportunity to continue to move forward because, mind you,
Jeez.
you get bonus points for completing and being the first one, and Techno just slipping through.
And this is the level I think that Technoblade actually struggled with a little bit last week was the gold stage. And even prior to that week, it was Vicstar who struggled with the gold stage as well. So this is by far one of the most problematic ones. And I will say, TBNR frags made it look as if he had a lot of momentum going off the start. Unfortunately, ends up falling himself. But this early stage is right. It gets so much difficult because it's not just a simple, okay, you know, minor parkour position. It's actually like 3 different courses in one. If you fall, you're back to the very, very start of which you began. So Technoblade quickly making his rounds as he's seen this course a time or two. I think Fire Breath Man not too far away, right? He's just reached that diamond level.
The tricky thing about here, conserving your momentum, you said earlier, had a lot of momentum going into that. You have to in order to make these jumps, but you have such a small amount of time to make the jumps, and it does look like Preston's got it. And now on to the Emerald level. This could be where he can make his time up, because like you said, this was where Techno struggled last time as well.
Techno might fall behind as we lose another player. Or the Lava's going to be in the icy stage. So it is moving through. Not as fast as last time, which means a lot of players are starting to kind of, you know, get a little hint, learning a little bit. But yeah, player, unfortunately, about a couple more tries before that lava is going to overtake him over in your bottom right corner as can't even get past the second block. Lava's moving in. And I think it just consumed that player, unfortunately. But look at Preston, unfortunately, just misses the block.
He does, and right at that same time, Techno enters the Emerald level. So gold is gone. Gold is done here, so this race, still very much a race.
Wow. Oh, man.
I did not think he'd miss that a second time.
I didn't think he did either.
So this is getting interesting once again, and it's nice for a run from lava to actually be a race as well, guys.
Yeah, that's for sure. And
Oh,
there we go.
nice.
Preston, third time's the charm, makes it through and is now on toward the next stage. And Technoblade, not far by any stretch of the imagination. Ladder to ladder, still has quite a few difficult courses to make it through. I mean, I'll say it's still a decently prestigious lead that Preston has as of this moment, but another player starts to fall, just staring at what is the inevitable at this point here, Taylor.
Afamo going down, unfortunately. Always terrible to see. There was a player actually looking up top.
Jack was like, that must suck, as he sprints off.
Well, it isn't his name. So with that being said, we're going to lose another good soldier, unfortunately, as Preston continues to make his way through. Techno, though, was having a pretty decent run through that last course. He might catch up.
Yeah, he's exactly one behind right now. We're starting to see
Oh,
a
no.
huge
Oh,
mass.
no.
There's Jack, and now Yami gets to be the one to look down as we see James, Charles, Grande, and Jack all huddled together.
And this is gonna make the
James.
and this is gonna make the
Don't let me
lava
go, James.
start to push through pretty quick, right? That's not just one player; it's actually going to be 3. And James Charles even calling it out. This is so sad. This is sad, James.
I could feel the emotion through the chat.
Just quickly foiled, quickly taken down.
But I mean, that's 3 players down, maybe Yami as
Oh.
well. So that lava is going to be moving extremely quick coming up.
Oh man, Technoblade just having a problem with these window panes. Can he make it through? And yes, he does, in fact. Now on to the construction, which is where TBNR Frags happens to still be, right? He's having somewhat of a problem when it comes into this current stage. I mean, not aware of his position. And based on the fact that he was looking around, you'd like to argue that he did make it through to another one. So Dodgers through the parkour. Now time for the invisible blocks and making it look simple on toward the nether. I think, this is the 11th out of 12th is the nether and then the end. And that's, I was going to say that storm, right? I'm just so used to other BRs, but that lava beginning to make its way through as more victims starting to be found. But I'll be honest, props to Dolan Dark for making it pretty far in that instance. I know he's been overtaken a little bit earlier than he would have liked in prior weeks, but still doing some damage.
How deceiving was that? I just would have been hopping up on the blocks. He had to backtrack, come around, and then hop onto the ladder. Clearly, he's had some experience when it comes to this game mode.
What is this jump? Oh my gosh.
Kind of reminds me of like Scissors Death Run with Fortnite making that jump. You have to jump out and then come back in. Incredibly difficult to do.
Oof.
And probably more so in Minecraft.
Technoblade not that far away, but the biggest thing we have to look out for, the bottom left, when will we see the end stage reached for TBNR Frags, or can that be accomplished by the time that Technoblade gets there? Quite a few players making it onto the gold, the emerald stages, so still hanging on, trying to earn as many points as they can. And Technoblade about to go through the invisible blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there it is, entering in the same stage. Firebreath Man just entered in toward the emerald, so he has really slowed down. This is by far a two-man race. And as soon as TBNR Frags gets back on the ladder, he sees Technoblade just off in the distance.
Uh-oh.
That lava's starting to move, guys.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. And especially it's going to move even faster once
XQC.
these three players go down. But
Oh!
XQC does make it and stays alive for
Run!
the moment being. And XQC,
No!
did he make Connor? Yeah, Connor's done. XQC, now I'm curious, is he all the way at the end waiting for his demise? No, he made it through.
No, Connor's done. Connor's
Or
done.
no, he did. Ugh, I totally
XQC,
thought.
Connor, they're done for, unfortunately. I think XQC tried to jump on the top level, and as soon as he did that, he immediately got hit by the lava.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
he went back for one more.
Unfortunate.
And still this same jump,
The Soul Stone is causing problems.
tripping him up. And once again, and Techno still having some trouble at the start too, but it looks like Techno has closed the gap. If Techno can get this in one try.
Oh, look at the lava.
Oh, we're just down to
This is not good.
No, we're just down to 17 players too, which means that this is going to get even faster.
They can still do this, though. Like, in terms of the top two, they can absolutely still do this. That's only in the iron stage, which is still a decent amount away. But as those players start to get overtaken, it only gets faster, and they are constantly struggling on this same one. I think that's a 4. Is that a 4-block jump that you have to make on Soulstone, which already slows you down as it is? And they're just really having a hard time trying to overtake that one. It is literally like a pixel-perfect jump that you have to make. And there goes another one. Dan TDM falling victim toward the lava as well. And there we go. Another gear gained for the lava, pushing its way through and getting closer toward Techno and a TBNR. They're starting to feel the heat, guys.
See, it's that jump right there where you're so close. This is where I would lose my mind, because I would be so incredibly close every single time. Look at that, every single time. They're 1 pixel away. I mean,
They really are.
It is just a matter, and it's a matter of making.
Oh, that looked promising.
That did look
We
promising.
literally are all feeling the pain
Well,
right now.
it's
I
a
hear
matter
production.
of-
I hear us all going, oh, no.
It's a matter of keeping what speed you can still there. And I'm wondering if right now Preston is trying to stand as far back as he can and try to build his momentum that way. So we're trying different tactics to do this.
Oh, there goes Bajan. Oh, my gosh. This is moving.
It's like a train.
It
Just
really is.
It is. And you'll see
pummeling forward.
Only gaining more speed.
Firebreath.
C-Scoop. Captain Sparkles.
Oh, no. C-Scoop's going to get one more chance. No, he didn't. Oh.
I think this is the end, boys. Once these players are overtaken, that's what, 2? That lava is going to be
See you guys.
cruising.
Another one bites the dust.
The pain. We see them, both of them in chat, asking for help with this jump. Preston saying, I think it's impossible. I've been here for ages.
I don't know. I would have to agree.
Oh,
If
man.
these guys can't make it,
No one can. No one. Absolutely nobody. I don't even know if the lava can physically transverse this area, this position.
reminds me of the meme. Nobody, absolutely no one. And then a picture of the block, the last block.
Oh
There
my gosh.
it is, yeah. This
still
did. I mean,
trucking
we have
along.
probably a couple more tries.
It's in the mine stage. So what? It's only 2 away, I think. Yeah, 2 away. I want to say.
Lack swears up and down he's completed this.
But how many times did it take to
It's how many minutes did it take? Spends all day doing it, completes it once. Yeah, it's possible.
Oh, man.
He clipped through it.
So Lake's here. So Lake's, I think, going to attempt this one as well, along with them.
Okay, it's not looking promising. Like, if you can't do it a second time, and you're floating too. He's like, yeah, I can do it with my mod powers. I can float up to it. Come on. What do you
It worked in creative. Why can't you guys do this?
He
had it!
Oh, he did it! I probably got more excited than he did.
Preston.
No, he's figured it out.
He
He has
figured
to
it out.
back up. He has to jump to get the momentum there, and then using the momentum after the jump, that's how you make the next jump.
And
Did Techno see that is the question? Because Techno's going to try to do the same thing here.
Yep. He knows it now. He sees it.
Oh.
He has the idea. And
Oh, the
here
lava.
comes the lava, the pressure. Right, the pressure knowing that you're not just competing against someone who's right next to you, but also that the lava, the inevitable, is just behind you as well. And here it comes. It's on the nether stage. You guys see the lava's building up in the distance. Can anyone survive it? Can they earn a few extra points? These are the last few chances that they're
Oh,
going to
no.
have. They're the last 2 alive, guys. Or no, there's 4 players alive. I don't even know who's
No,
left.
the other 2 that they just showed were actually alive in a corner for some
Now,
reason.
hold on a second here. That's
Last try. Literally last try.
Oh, he jumped
He
and
jumped
he
into the
died.
lava. And then we have 2 players who are literally alive staying in the corner.
Where are they at? I don't even know where they are.
Look at these guys. What? Of course, it's Techno. Okay, I think he jumped into the lava. How did he even in that? Literally.
I think that there's a glitch with the ladders or
Yep.
something along those lines that was allowing those guys to stay alive for as long as they were. Fortunately, I think that they put themselves into the lava in time. I believe that Preston was the next one to go.
Yeah.
And then Techno, who was hiding legitimately in the corner, who would have been the last one anyway. So I think all's well, but that jump, that will be the talking point
That's
for quite
crazy.
some time.
That's crazy. to
But
me.
I don't think that course has changed. I feel like that has been a regular jump. Maybe that the course has changed up a little bit since we last visited it. But
that has to have been the case because remember, Techno beat this. He would have
Right.
had to have gone this, and yet he's asking if the
Yeah.
jump is possible.
it may
so-
not be. It may be a new addition or something.
Given
along
how
those
well
lines.
Preston and Techno were doing, there's no way that is an old kind of adage, to
Right.
these maps. Because there's no way. I mean, with their experience and how good they were doing, that is just a tough block. And clearly it's possible. I mean, we saw Preston literally get on it once, and then I think he surprised himself because he immediately ran straight off of it after he was
Yeah.
on it. But clearly a very, very tough one to say the least. I got to say, Lack has stepped it up. From dropper to this, things are getting intense.
It absolutely is. And take a look at our scoreboard right now. Skeppy, Bad Boy, Halo on top. 904 overall scores. Just following that up, we've got Fire Breath Man along with player 862. We go from that. C-Scoop, Travs, locking down that 3rd place position, followed up by Ant Venom and Captain Sparkles, who are actually in top 4 right now. This would be their highest placement as a duo in all of Minecraft Monday. Just behind Log.Zip and TBNR Frags, definitely getting a boost right from Preston's play when it came down to those jumps and spots. That parkour definitely gave him an advantage. And right now in 6th place, Technoblade, Call Me Carson, 640. A lot of ground to be made up if they want to try and overtake that 1st place position, down by nearly 300 points at this time. This will get interesting, right? We talked about like when the teams are starting to kind of distance themselves. When it kind of has come down to our last few game modes, things are starting to even out a little bit. So we've got, maybe 4 teams who even, coming down to the final 2 games, realistically have a very real chance of taking this.
Yeah.
We're going to need some progression for those teams who are kind of in that higher up 700 range. But it absolutely is possible. You have a really good performance when it comes into bingo. You be one of the first teams to complete your card. And then you head into PvP. You have a good performance. But like I said, there's definitely still a few teams on the board who can overtake that 1st place position.
It's true, but bingo doesn't allot for a lot of points.
It does
right?
not,
So
yes,
it's
that's
it's great for content creation. I mean, it's insanely funny, especially with what we're going to be. We're going to be doing a new viewing experience for you guys at home. Okay, by the way. So it's going to be a little bit better than the previous weeks. But to say the least, though, you don't get a lot of points for bingo.
Yeah.
And typically, there's 5 different spots, so you can only imagine, first, second, third place, they're going to manage to complete their card as well. So it's going to come down to Hunger Games for sure.
It definitely is, right? I mean, this is only going to try and boost you up anything you can get, right? 10 maybe extra points than the opponents. That's what you're kind of hoping for. Like we discussed when it comes into bingo hunt, the way that you obviously do earn points is that you get 10 points per person that finds a particular item. You also are awarded 20 points for the team that completes their bingo card. And depending on the weeks previously, not many teams can complete their bingo card in time in terms of the way that the game mode works out, but it's really just about finding as many items as you can. It's not bingo in terms of, 4 across or whatever it may be. It's actually trying to pretty much be a blackout. You're trying to accomplish every single item on your bingo card. So I know we'll be having a new one for this week. Last week we visited the Nether, which was a very interesting situation. We saw constant fights for blaze rods. I think Dan TDM and Think Noodles were destroying every spawner in sight, making lives a lot more difficult. But here we go, taking a look at XQC's perspective here off the break, as they're desperately trying to hunt down these items. We talk about it, right? Which ones do you go for
Do
first?
you hear his song? Do you hear his song, Eye of the Tiger, playing through?
You love to see it. This is what he needs. This is momentum that you need right now.
Yeah, this is the song you play. I used to box, actually, so this is the song we listened to whenever I would box.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
What? That I
So
used
the
to
first
box?
item was cocoa beans, by the way. Very easy. Everyone's found it. So there you go. First one found. Simple as that.
You would think so.
I got melons.
Okay, got melons.
Got
Love
melons.
these are intense call-outs, too. I got melons.
I found a cocoa bean. I got are they? Did XQC just call it like he was doing a Overwatch?
This is so intense, these call-outs.
This is wonderful.
I need the glistering melon. I need gold. We need gold and clay. I'll find clay. Can you go?
Okay, so Lake's saying easy bingo week. So this one's going to be a lot easier than last week, it seems.
Okay, so
In comparison to the cards, I know we haven't got to take a look at that one yet. We'll obviously be having it up here shortly. But I'm actually very interested to see, outside of cocoa beans, what really are the items on the list. And based off the fact that we're seeing XQC pretty much build down, you'd like to assume that it's most likely an item that happens to be
Okay, I got clay.
in the ground below. But switching back over,
You guys don't like.
we've got Ant Venom on the screens.
Make a video where I showed them off, and
I think he's
Okay.
just a lot more of a calmer reaction when it comes down to this over what we just saw from XQC and Co. It was just constant back and forth, just hoping to try and find as many items as they can. Ant Venom's talking about videos. He's having a great time right now with good old Captain Sparkles.
yeah, I think XQC and his teammate probably had a little bit too much G Fuel out there. Probably they are definitely ready to go. Use code UMG at checkout. By the way, 10% off.
Yeah.
Definitely got to do that.
I'm still valuing the melons more if I can find them first.
Valuing the melons
people
more
are
if I
saying
can
to go to
find
the
them
jungle temple
first.
because they're
Okay.
actually
Put it on
okay.
put it on a shirt.
Oh, emeralds in the
Value
jungle
in the
temple. You
melons
guys
more?
Found
I like
melons.
it. Okay,
and get them
melons
all
have been
so
found.
that nobody
Good
else
to
can take this
know.
patch.
Watermelon. Man, watermelon would be great
Yeah, I
right
will.
now, too.
That actually sounds pretty
I
good.
Can we get some
literally is
catering
that
for some
guy, taking
watermelons
all
in the
the
studio?
melons.
Could you imagine?
During the
Does
summer,
sound
too.
good.
The
Yeah,
hot
this
summer
emerald
day,
would
you
be
just come
pretty
inside.
boss.
We have
Have
certainly
some
had that.
watermelon.
I like peaches.
Peaches are fantastic.
Peaches and plums.
You know what's really good? Mangoes.
Oh, yeah,
Mangoes
I can
are
just mine it.
phenomenal.
C9 Mango is phenomenal.
Oh,
he,
yeah.
he is great at the game. I gotta
Why?
say.
gold
Oh, look at
and
this.
And a saddle.
He just broke through and actually found a chest. This is a great situation right now. If you're Ant Venom, right?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
trying to find a few extra items
I
and
don't even have any wood right now. Oh my god, I've been so.
So I
focused on
know-
this.
I've always been curious too. Like, if you were to find a random chest, like,
Yeah,
could you
I got
find
it.
some of the rare items and they're already pre-built? Like, that's
Oh, yeah.
something kind of to think about.
I think it's absolutely something you could do. So this is Skeppy that we'll be viewing right here. So
this is fun. This is fun to be able to like kind of look at each other perspectives, like actually hear how they communicate to each other and whatnot.
it is, and you see right up there the subscribe. Right up there, the number continues to rise, as so does theirs. So they're down here at the bottom. I know we heard gold earlier. We heard emeralds. We've heard clay as well. So early on, trying to gather up
Hello?
as many of those raw materials as you can.
He's checking the Minecraft.
Where did I
wiki.
go?
He's
Oh,
checking.
okay,
He's
the
we're
wiki.
back,
alt
we're back,
tabbing to the Minecraft wiki, everybody. You get to see the process as it happens here. Let it be known, even Skeppy, one of the best players that we have,
Yeah.
can't keep track of everything and where you get it and how you build it. Gotta
Mind-
love it.
And mind you, Lack is the one who puts these together. He's an evil supervillain at this point.
They did say this week was easier than last one, so I don't think we'll be seeing any trips to the Nether.
Yeah,
Maybe
Flint and
just maybe
Steel's one
just
of
the
them?
end this time.
So the items that we know: flint and steel, oak leaves, a flower pot.
Here.
There was a
And
mushroom
then-
stew earlier as
Yeah,
well.
mushroom stew. There you go. And then something
Melons.
to do with melons. I don't know exactly. So yeah, these are pretty, your run-of-the-mill items. I don't think you're going to have to go to the nether for the most part. At least I say that, and then probably the last item includes something
Okay.
very, very in detail. But
So Philza and Jerome, 4 out of 9, so they are doing very well. Look at that smile.
good old Philza.
He's happy. Happy as a clam.
I found one.
I'd be happy as a clam too when you're that good at Minecraft. Plus, you're playing along with Jerome. Great guy, collecting some mushrooms, trying to get that mushroom stew under lock.
So we need a
Got a
lot
Twitch
of
shirt on,
gold
I think.
for the missing power
That's what it
rail,
looks like.
gold block, and just emerald stuff. Okay.
I
So
swear I heard Roblox, but I'm pretty sure I didn't hear Roblox. That's
Roblox.
probably my old
Oh,
age
that
is
was
like
an
Roblox. Huh?
immediate find of the flint. Oh, you already got one
Everything's
still?
on fire.
I was going to say, only in bingo are you going to get a strategy
Brown
here where
mushrooms. Do you have
burning
mushrooms by any chance?
a forest down is a legitimate
Nope.
strategy.
But I got a hug for you.
Was he the one burning the forest earlier too? Like
Could have been.
on one of the.
Freshly
I
baked.
know. Okay, it was Lavia that was pushing through. Definitely an interesting strategy though. Burning the forest.
brown
Just admiring the
mushroom.
shoreline. you
Now
know?
I see why he was smiling.
Is emerald
just
the
burning
same
everything
height
down.
as-
5 out of 9.
He's
for a-
devious. He's devious. He's enjoying.
Well, you know,
diamonds?
burning all the other melons is a good way to make sure
they're
that
kind of
nobody
all
can
over the
get
place, I
melons.
There you go.
So that is
Most people
an
don't mine
idea, I
in,
suppose. But, you know, I am
melon
curious.
areas for
Do we
diamonds
think that this
because
might be
emeralds are
Carson's best
worth
mode?
a lot-
Yes.
lots around
Okay.
diamonds.
Best chance. I'm not going to say this is his best mode, but he has the best chance of being good at this mode, I will say. Okay, so there we go. We get a chance to look at a few things. So emeralds, I think that was a redstone train track. I'm not sure if I got to see that one correctly.
Okay.
And then a solid block of gold on top of that.
Yeah,
so
so
that
this is-
will
this is
be
doable,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So certainly more so than last. I think
From
gold,
last week, it's like, wow, yeah, this is going to be great.
I honestly think that the block of gold may be the hardest part. Either that or the flower pot, but that's a lot of gold that you're going to have to get if you want to put that full block together as we keep throwing the pickaxe by
Well,
accident.
Maybe not. I mean, you know, going all the way back to when we were watching Battle Arena. I mean, we did find like 8 diamond blocks in one section, so maybe someone's going to run into a ton of gold. But I will say, though, players are making good progress. I think 2 are at 5 out of 9. Frustration obviously coming through. And Swagger Soul's currently in the lead with 5. We'll watch their perspective as we're going to go ahead and craft some items here. I think.
Just make an
I think,
iron
I think, I
pickaxe,
think
make
his
your life
pickaxe
easier.
broke. I think that's why he was screaming.
I don't think he wanted it. He just kept throwing it out. He's like, yeah, this one's not good.
Well, you also need the iron pickaxe to get the gold too, so that's an important distinction. Got to at least have one.
Look at this call out.
You have to start walking fast.
What is he?
This is amazing. Gosh, this is incredible. There you go. Your 9 blocks. There's the gold block. We talked about how it was the one of the most difficult items to find.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Scoop Trav at 7 and 9.
It's not missing doesn't matter. Missing doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
I cannot. There's no way. Why is he so crazy right now?
This is intense, Taylor. I don't know what you talked about.
If this is bingo, imagine the callouts during the actual
Oh,
PvP
could you
modes.
like Hunger Games? Yeah.
Okay, stew. I'm gonna go to stew.
Could you imagine him in a kitchen with like Gordon Ramsay? Go prepare the lamb chop. I'm gonna get the lamb chop. I'm gonna give me the butter. Get the butter, salt and pepper.
Let's go ahead and switch perspectives.
And
Over
the hair is
TBNR
nice.
frags.
This guy, Johnny Bravo over here. Preston looking good.
Bravo.
The pompadour
Man.
to end all pompadours here.
Mr. Parkour himself.
Man.
This guy looks like he wants to beat me up and take my lunch money.
Blue light not getting to his eyes.
Yeah,
You love to see
there
it.
you go.
Or not see it.
That is, you got me.
Literally the only time we won it. Come on, Redstone.
Bro, how big is this jungle?
You see them looking for that redstone.
Bro, how big is this jungle?
Says everyone who gets lost in a
Redstone,
jungle.
we need you. Please listen to our plea.
Okay, now we're talking to the blocks. Now, this is a strategy we haven't seen
Yep.
before, but maybe something smart. 8 out of 9, though, for Scoops and Trav.
And also for Skeppy and Co. So this is a kind of a hand-in-hand race right now for these two.
Team TP. Fail.
All right,
Team
I am
TP.
looking.
Team TP. Oh my goodness.
That's
you
some
are in
craziness.
Extreme Hills. Perfect. Mine at the lowest. Does anyone know the block
Looking.
distance to get this? Does
Dude,
anyone
there's
know?
people already down here. They would have taken it.
No,
Okay.
no. Remember, all we gotta do is mine, like free mine, like literally till you find it.
I feel like one of the hardest
Go
items to find
Y,
actually
The chat's saying Y11.
would be emeralds,
I'm at
because
Y11.
emeralds are not like the easiest block
Literally
you're
just
run of
go
the mill. Like
down
this is going to take some
and
hunting.
look
I'm not
for
sure
it.
if that's emerald that they're
I
looking
need-
for,
That's stupid.
but it looks
I
as
don't
if
have a lot of
what
wood. Do you have a lot
Jack
of
just
wood?
found emeralds.
What?
So
Did someone complete it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
someone's done. Yeah. So Ski Scoop
it's
and
so
Travs
hurry
are the
up.
first ones to complete
No,
their
we
cards. So
can't
that's
mine anymore. That's
great
it.
for them. And you immediately notice, right? They look at that chat and they're like, okay, my goodness, they already found their items. Now we gotta ramp things up a little bit.
Interesting too, listening to the chat as well. They were kind of giving a call at us to the location as to one of the items were. Ended up teleporting over there, but
Can we get a timer? Is that a world record?
oh no way!
A world record?
All right, don't mess with my heart like that, because
Sabotage.
we've had a couple
Yeah,
of
Travs, Ski Scoop, be careful now.
you know, couple of world records
Hang on, watch this. Where's
on stream for various other games.
I want to find an enemy. I want to BM someone.
He wants to BM some. But sound, this is the quality content.
This is
that
what
I
we love to see. Yeah, this is what you want to have.
I-
Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo got through
Got it,
theirs.
We got it. Did we complete it? Yes. We got 40 score for
Oh,
completing it.
yo,
Yes!
bet.
I
Bad
love
Boy
that Bad
Halo.
Boy Halo
Yo,
and
man,
Skeppy.
Fudge out of it.
They're just so hyped. Like, we did it. We're in the top 5. We get our points.
Jerome and Filza completed theirs as well.
So 3 done. 3 teams done. Well, only 2 more left.
Oh, no.
Oh
we're
my
not top
gosh.
5 anymore.
Now
It's 4 teams
Jack
done.
and Donnie as
No,
well.
4 teams done.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
4 teams are done, so one more, right?
I think it just stops after top 5.
That powered
you're right.
rail.
Dude, there's
That's
no
the
way.
reason
more
why
team?
Preston and Co are looking to try and
Deeper, guys, I'm so deep.
be
Oh, wait, I
ultra
think I
careful
found
with
a
this.
cave.
The mining god, we've talked about it, how he's able to
Redstone.
find
I found
constant
this.
iron ores, diamond,
redstone.
everything.
He's found him.
Solid.
There it
Okay,
is.
So what you can do is TP to me.
Look how quiet he got too. So focused.
Okay.
We just need to get
Alright.
the points in.
Okay.
There it
Drop it on
is.
me, baby. Drop it on me,
Up,
baby.
crafting coming through. Might be the 15. Preston,
I do me look for extreme hills.
the beast himself.
Oh
Is she
man,
gonna
this
get
is
it?
intense. This is intense. So many teams are kind of around this region right now.
And
Ballistic
Captain
Squid.
Sparkles are at
Yep.
8 and 9 too.
Yep, Ballistic
Oh,
Squid's
you
at
need gold, Tyler. Do you have the
7
gold
right now.
rockets
They
you're
just nearly got their 8th.
if they did the village.
The gold block. Someone's gonna need that.
Come on.
Oh, you could
Greenhouse
feel
plus.
the pressure.
Oh, yeah, logged out Zip and TBR frags. They got the
Yeah,
powered
maybe
rail.
they did
One
do a
more left for
village
them.
situation. Well, we're at 8
Well, I
of
think
9
there's
either
got to
way.
be at least like what 3, if not 4 teams
Yeah.
currently looking for just one item to earn that big
Yeah.
20 points.
Come on. Guys, look up on the wiki and tell us what the common heights are for emeralds.
That's the thing that I was talking about. My big thing is that emeralds are so difficult to find in regular games. It's not like
Saying fine.
your run-of-the-mill item.
Another team gets 8. That's
Some are
gonna be
saying
Ballistic
Guys, I
Squid
don't know
and
where the village is.
SB7. So there's like
Maybe
14,
11?
5
Okay,
teams
well, we're on 11.
sitting
30
at
and under?
8
Okay.
of 9.
Thank you, guys.
7 and 9 right now for Think Noodles and Dan. Quickly approaching. It really depends on what items you have left because, granted, you could be at 8 and 9 along with everybody else, but if
Oh,
you
I
have
just found
the
another strip mine. Someone else.
difficult ones, but
So someone else is strip
it could
mining
change
down
things
here.
up. And Ant Venom giving the call out saying, I just actually happened to find in the exact same area as everybody else did. Happened to be mining right alongside the opponents.
Ballistic Squid building up. No need
I can't
to
believe it.
top.
We just needed. Oh, I should have just gone for a village. I bet someone who found the village first probably found gold as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were talking about going to the village, but yeah,
which
Dolan
one?
Dark Grande
One.
making 8 out of 9 themselves.
XQC also at 8 out of 9.
Oh my! Can we get XQC's perspective? Yes.
Oh, man. I was going to say, for one time where you can't focus on it.
Oh, look at
Page and James Charles.
He's so shook.
7 billion IQ. I knew it. No, we did. Yeah, we were the 5th. We were the 5th.
I love watching XQC just scream the passion. The passion from that man.
Yeah, and it's so like annoying whenever it's like, okay, we got this one last item. How have we not found this yet? And then and you keep looking at that feed of, okay, this team's got 7 out of 9. This team's got 8 out of 9. Oh my gosh, we are literally looking for the same items. Or even for Ant Venom, you're looking at the same position. You're looking in the same strip mines as somebody else. My goodness, man, that was intense. That was really fun to actually watch those streams. I think that's what we have to do for the future weeks. And
Yeah.
we definitely need to have a permanent moment of XQC on stream because
Oh,
the
yeah.
intensity at that moment was unparalleled.
I got melons. I got melons. I got melons.
He's the best call-outs I've ever seen.
Most accurate. I mean, it wasn't
No,
inaccurate by
it
any
was
means.
No,
It was
it
truthful.
wasn't at all.
It was
We all
truthful.
got the message. Everyone at that moment knew that he had melons.
You did.
Yeah.
It was accomplished.
It was. It was, in fact, accomplished. Let's go and take a look at our scoreboard heading into our final game
Oh, it's
of
so
Hunger
close.
Games.
So
Skeppy, Bad Boy Halo, currently leading the way at 1,024 score. But just in that second place position, we've got Fire Breath Man along with Player, followed up by C-Scoop and Travs. Ant Venom and Captain Sparkle is rounding things up. So very interesting line sights right now. We're taking a look and probably looking at that top four to really be the overall difference maker when it comes down to it. But guys, like we said, a solid game. Everything gets changed up, but for the most part, our top three composed of duos that have won Minecraft Monday previously. Can we get a repeating champion? Can someone join alongside Technoblade in that very prestigious club? I cannot wait to see how it happens. Or could it be the new guys, right? The newly added Fire Breath Man and Player. Can they get it done in their first ever tournament?
I would be heartbroken because Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo, second place, how many times?
Two
Right?
times.
Two times in a
Back
row.
to back.
Back to back. That hurts.
Can you imagine if they did it 3 times in a row?
That's what I'm saying. I'm really hoping they can come through
But
big.
what was their issue?
Well, you
what was
talked
their
about
issue when
issue.
it
their
has come down
issue,
to
we
it?
saw this exact thing happen. They were in first, and they had a little bit of breathing room. They had maybe 60 points, so what did they do? Said, let's just not let disaster happen. Let's be a little bit more conservative, and they let Scoop and Travis run out and take out everybody, take all the points, and by the time they finally clashed, it didn't really matter. They're in the exact same position. Let's see if they have learned. Realistically, only the top 3 teams in striking distance right now. Keep an eye on them. We might have a new champion right here as this game gets started.
Here we go, folks. Our last game of Minecraft Monday, week number 5. Who will be our champions? Feel free to let us know in the chat. Feel free to let us know on social media. Be using the hashtag Minecraft Monday. Could it be Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo currently leading the way? Could Fire Breath Man and Player in their first Minecraft Monday tournament become champions? Or can we see C-Scoop and Travis in their second ever tournament win both, right? They've won it in week 3, their first ever time. They haven't competed since. Could they do it again? It would be interesting, but Fire Breath Man, without question, one of the standouts this week, already looking, prowling for opponents off the rip.
Oh, yeah. A lot of water on this map. A lot of battles are going to be done through this water, to say the least.
Look at this, Skeppy.
Yeah.
Get in the mix. That's exactly what you want to see from Bad Boy Halo & Co. because we discussed,
Well, it's
right?
Moxie.
Slower, more passive play. That cannot happen. And a top 5 team right now in terms of XQC and Moxie, for one of their members to drop, you could argue that is their tournament done right there. The fact that he dodges and gets out of that position is going to be big for them.
Saw him laughing. I'm just thinking of Moxie and XQC communicating right there during that fight. Definitely gonna be a fun one.
There goes Captain Sparkles. That was a roster who I think was in that 5th place position to be exact, or at 5th or 6th place.
Preston down as well, and Fire Breath getting on there as well. So again, some of the big names already going out and getting their due. You know, this is such a fun map because, as you said, there's a lot of water, there's a lot of ships as well, but the center of the map is dominated by market stands and bridges and everything along those lines too. So
Yeah.
this becomes a very, very fun map to watch. And Moxie again running away.
Let's go, Joey.
Is better geared up than Joey, but I don't know if Moxie has a good weapon. That might be why they're running.
Toss get a few eggs. Joey Graceffa looking for the Elim. It looks as if J-Schlatt, Jack taking on a few, and Fire Breath Man is continually taking down teams. There goes Rage Elixir. Final time, final breath of Minecraft Monday. Taking a quick breath himself is the man Fire. Unbelievable. As even players are calling out, this guy is online bullying me, how good he is at Minecraft Monday.
Uh-oh.
It's something to marvel at, and there's Dolan Dark, maybe another one in the midst. He's already leading in most eliminations. He could be adding another one toward that total as the Interpol gets brought out, but to no avail. There is still quite a few players kind of around this edge.
Quite a few players in this location. TNT out as the players are going to be running away, trying to find their angle. Fire Breath Man finding another one. Donnie Bobes down low, 3 health. Eggs thrown, trying to get as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, water slows him down quite a bit, and Donnie looks like he will get away. I do see an arrow or a bow, but I don't know if any arrows are going to be found as another victim goes down.
Oh,
Joey
no.
gets eliminated. Moxie picks up a nice one in the running for top 5. Not a bad performance from him. XQC probably still running around. And Venom, good to see him picking up a player as Yami is going to be eliminated. It's down to 16 teams, 29 players remaining. And the chest, you're refilling in about a minute, so you got to have good map awareness as to where some of those are going to be. But Techno in an engagement himself, and
Only
2 health, on
Wow.
Donnie Bobes.
Donnie's so low right now. Jerome actually takes down his longtime teammate, says goodbye to Bajan and goodbye to James Charles. Oh, the arrow lands through water. What a shot.
Technoblade.
Oh, that's such a savage snipe. Lovely work coming in from Technoblade. Not just the blades, the arrows, everything in between. But I'll be honest, at this moment, as Moxie takes down Jerome, by the way, which is actually pretty influential,
It is.
we need to see Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo really start to turn things up, because I think they may have taken down one team already.
Yeah, they're only one.
But on the other side, if we're looking at Fire Breath Man, he's taking out at least 4 players.
He's
so
slaying.
the score, change
there's
up, and
another one.
there's Grande. So that is what, 50 points just in this game alone. He was at 932. The opposition was at 1,024. He is quickly starting to rise through that, maybe around 40 points down at this moment.
And a big thing, too, players still alive. I know during the first Hunger Games,
Yep.
Fire Breath Man went off, but player was nowhere to be found. He was eliminated earlier on. So with him being there, he can be a distraction or whatever. But
Jerome, Beijing Canadian, excuse me, typed in chat and said, Jerome, it's done. It's no longer
no,
a
he
thing.
did
After
not.
Jerome took him down.
You heard it here officially. The duo for life, it seemed, now ended. Hunger Games, that's all it took.
My goodness.
Unfortunate. Phil's
Moxie's dominating,
Moxie
man.
is doing well, I must say.
Now, they were in, unfortunately, 9th, but they can –
Well-
when it came down to that 5th through 9th placement, there was only like maybe 100 points separating them.
XQC's gone as player gets that elim, and that's going to be beneficial. so
Wow,
now player
yeah.
getting into the mix and helping out.
That's a good 70
Fire
points in this
Breath.
game alone.
It is, but I will say this, like I said, the best placing we've seen from a crossover team was Mongo and Mitra with top 10. So if Moxie and XQC can break that, even if they place 9th place, they would be the best crossover team to come through and do as well as they did.
There's another team we haven't talked a whole lot about, Travis and C-Scoop. You see C-Scoop sitting there at the top with the best overall gear. They still have a chance to make some big plays happen, and if Fire Breath can get those two, looks like Opts think better of it and go back to mid, but this is where it comes down, right? We only have 18 players left, and all 6 of our top of the players on the top 3 teams are still up. There's not a whole lot of points to be found. Travis and Scoop need to find these picks now, and it might start. Everyone's starting to come in together here. It's going to have to start soon, guys.
Team 20, let's go.
I think that's Fire Breath Man, I want to say. I think you may be rooting on those boys.
Last minute addition.
Typing out says woo, but I think you might actually have someone on the trail, but no. Red takes down Ant Venom. So he and Captain Sparkles, both of them dropped. That was the 4th place team. So like we talked about, it is down to the top 3, and there goes another Fire Breath Man takes down Afamu. And that is very unfortunate considering enchantments that he may be earning soon. But no, players coming from the back lines. They just came through. It was Technoblade. Skeppy takes down Moxie, but there goes player.
He got them both.
Technoblade, we were talking about the rivalry that had been developing throughout all of this. What a sneaky moment that may have just taken them out of contention to win this week. Technoblade says, I'm not winning this one, but I'm not letting my rival take this one either. You're going down with me.
Skeppy, Bad Boy Halo still up, and maybe that passive approach they were taking could work out for the best. Still, plenty of elims that they need to gather. There's a lot of points to cover.
I love this.
Mind you get survival points too, but Skeppy, Bad Boy Halo, they could be thanking Technoblade because they just gave them a second chance.
They did, and Techno heard people saying, oh, people are saying someone's coming for my hold on a minute, hold on. Carson, move out of the way. I gotta work here.
He pushes him out of the way, maybe intentional
Not that
or
Carson
not.
was here to begin with. But, I think Carson's still alive, actually, which is the real irony in all this. I think Carson is still up and earning them survival points, so.
That helps. That helps.
Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo, you have to think if they get maybe 4 or 5 of these, they'll have made it up. Because right now, I think that they're behind. I think they're technically in second, but we see this all the time in Friday Fortnite. It's a matter of can they close out here and get the elims they need. Because the elims are available. There's still 11. And we'll see. That number's dropping soon.
And that sword being enchanted is going to help quite a bit. It's going to have a little bit more firepower, a little bit more hit per strike than even a diamond pickaxe that's not, or excuse me, a diamond sword that is not enchanted. So definitely something good to have in his inventory. Techno just hanging out in middle. I got to say, very consistently, always in the middle. He is not scared to get into an engagement, but players are starting to drop. And unfortunately, they are dropping to the zone.
Oh, okay. This is the team that we really need to see start to change things up a little bit. Jay Schlatt, I think, just took down a few players. So C-Scoop, Travs, we were needing to see them start to kind of rise through the occasion a little bit. Maybe kind of having that same strategy that rendered Bad Boy Halo and Skeppy to lose in their prior weeks, the more passive beginning, because they haven't been in that kill feed all that much. Skeppy on the hunt, on the chase. That's an, looks as if Ender Portal tossed out. Ender Pearl, excuse me, placed and vacating the situation. Getting down to our final few players. 7 to be exact. 5 total teams. One of those being the roster that was in first coming into this. Are they still? That's the question. And Bad Boy Halo wanting to solidify it, looking to try to cut someone off. The TNT is placed. Possibly, but no, it's actually just a fake. I thought it was real. Not at all. Bad Boy Halo takes down Red with ease. Still up to 20 hearts. No problem in the world for them. And that is a massive elim coming through. 10 points. It's coming down to the wire. As long as they stay up and don't allow for Travs and Co. to really snake a few of these out, they should be in a really good position. But Technoblade still exists.
And we're yeah, he does. And we're Fire Breath Man as well as his teammate. Player ended up dropping. I think there was, what, still 11 teams left? That's a ton of survival points that you'd be missing out on. So.
And the scary thing right now for them is you see there's still 4 teams up. If somehow Travs and Scoop end up taking them out right now, that means they won't get any of the team bonus points. And that could be the difference right now. Skeppy needs to find this, and they finally do it.
Oh, that zone's going to hit hard. He's going to be forced back in. Don't let the zone take him out. He's got to go through.
Look at this, though. The 3P. The 3P opportunity.
For Travs?
And they can't. They don't go for it. They don't even try. They don't even attempt.
Oh, the zone hit him so hard. Skeppy down to just 2 hearts. Gapple in hand. He's able to heal up just a little bit, but this is going to be his weakest point. If he gets jumped on, this could be a moment where we lose Skeppy. Technoblade now over on the corner. Luckily, Bad Boy Halo able to provide some backup to Skeppy.
They're not healthy.
Meantime, 3 teams remain. 1 Techno. And then maybe a solo. Is Techno the solo in this situation?
He is.
Okay, yeah, of course. Where's
He's
Carson?
the solo, man.
He's going to be going against 2 separate teams. So he's looking for a 3rd opportunity.
Sweet.
As I see a /nuke come through. Hopefully we don't see another one of those, because that was crazy in the beginning. But all players now at a standoff, wanting to go through. Arrows being shot. And an opportunity is going to arise relatively soon. I think Skeppy is getting bold. He's wanting to push forward. Ground is slowly being taken, but Techno has to be in the back of their mind.
Absolutely.
Look at that. They're still saying focus Techno.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, he's actually playing the zone right now. He's going to wait for these 2 to try to engage, and he could at any point sneak up and take them down, right? That's the big thing. That's the reason why we saw Fire get taken down, and here we go. Actually placing down the cobweb to make sure that C-Scoop is rendered useless. He has 1 heart, and that's about it. And Travis is stuck as well.
Bad Boy Halo goes down.
What a
Skeppy
moment,
goes
but
down
regardless, Technoblade takes down C-Scoop, and we're down to a 1 versus 1. Travs and Technoblade. This is all for confidence if you're Techno. He's looking to drop this one, and he will.
How does Techno still win? 2 teams on the map, and Techno still comes through, Landon.
There were 2 duos, and Technoblade still manages to hold on, but that cobweb placement at the end was massive. Those elims, those points were huge, and I honestly have no clue how the score is going to look. It was a matter of Travs and Co. I don't know if they did enough. I don't know if they did enough in terms of points, but did Bad Boy Halo and Skeppy, did they get enough points to overtake what was the early game dominance that we saw come through from Fire and Co.? Fire and Player, was it enough? We'll have to find out right after this replay, as the number of different highlight moments that existed throughout this one was incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be major, man. Like, you got to be talking about it. Survival points. Techno, like you said, not a chance to win by any means, but still a man to change how the overall outcome was going to be. And if you are, you know, of course, looking at it, Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo from second place 2 weeks in a row. Were they able to overcome and get first? Only time will tell, but honestly, it might be a close one because they slayed out at the end.
Absolutely did. And like we talked about, this final fight was so interesting. Travs ends up getting taken down. Technoblade, the final laugh in terms of this game, asking, okay, anyone better than me and when it comes into solo? And here we go. It is Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo who are your champions just by a little. It was close. It came down to the wire. Fire Breath Man and Player, they had some fantastic moments off the start. They had some really good early game, which clearly indicates the score, but the fact that they couldn't stay alive, the fact that they couldn't be involved is all related to the man that finishes off in 5th, Technoblade. Absolutely the major factor in that first and second place position. Fire Breath Man and Player, they were interacting in chat saying like, hey, we appreciate your guys' support. As soon as they stopped to maybe try to upgrade their little bit, they are silenced. Technoblade, while he couldn't win, he definitely had a hand in letting everyone know who is still the best player on the map.
Fantastic stuff. The force of nature. We keep talking about 1, 2, and 3, all these tactics.
Yep.
Sometimes there isn't a tactic that gets you around that. But XQC and Moxie, we said Mongol and Mitro had the best of the crossover with the 9th, although I think, do we still count Speedy and Sidearms as a crossover? We'll have to look at that too.
Fair.
But in any case, a 9th place finish, very respectable, very close to Filza and Jerome, the Minecraft veterans there. Ant Venom and Captain Sparkles with one of their best finishes as well. Z-Scoop and Travs, the force that they are. Great stuff from them.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's go and take a look at 11 through 19, our placements when it comes down to that. As here we go, Think Noodles, Dan TDM filling that first position when it comes into this particular screen, 574, followed up by Connor. Fitzy Fitz, Factions, my kind of sleeper team, unfortunately 14th place, not the worst by any means, but followed up by Dolan Dark and Grande. And look at that, 16th for Bajan and James Charles. I know we had a little bit of a higher kind of feeling for them. We thought that they could really kind of be in that top 10 mix. Just a little bit shorter than that, but still put up a fantastic performance. It was a blast to watch all these teams here.
Absolutely was. And I want to know who was the best individual player,
Yeah,
right? Because that was always one of the most interesting talking points. It's all about the duo-ship. But I'm always curious to see who's on top.
Who do we
the
think
reason
it
why
may
we
be?
asked that, honestly, Techno, I think has to be on top.
I
He
think
played so incredibly
It could be Fire.
I think it's going to be Fire because they get more points from their
Fire.
wins.
By
like
not much at
20
all.
36 points. But remember how many of those points come, one, from bingo,
Right.
and secondly,
From having a
from
teammate.
the overall wins, from having a teammate. This is incredible stuff. Outside of that,
What a
Look at Moxie,
rivalry.
though.
Techno at number 2. Moxie with a great score. Preston, not quite as impressive as last week, but still making that
Top 10?
Man,
I
top 10.
love this rivalry, though, that we have at the top side. Fire Breath Man overall earns the score, so he earns the prestige of being, by definition, the best player individually, with Technoblade just below him. The reasons, I think it's just so fascinating because it was really Fire Breath Man who was kind of ruining Technoblade's opportunity, taking him down in Spleef, taking him down in a few other game modes, and then when it came down to the time that mattered the most, the opportunity for Fire to really overtake his first Minecraft Monday, it was Technoblade. You really could not write a story better than that because we started seeing Fire take some damage. We're like, oh my gosh, who's taking him down? How is there so many shots being given toward his overall health? And of course, it was Techno, man. He always has always has something to say in game.
Yeah, Techno never dies. It lives on. He will always live on, to say the least. I am so happy, though, that my sleeper pick of Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo were able to come through big. But I got to say,
here we
though,
go.
my other sleeper pick, very, very close to come through, of Fire Breath Man and Player.
You
I
never
knew
s-
they were going to
yeah,
do well.
never
And to
said
come through and get second place,
Never said
I have to say, a beautiful
Could you hand me
sight
that
to say
diamond
the
sword,
least.
please?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no,
yes.
I take it back. No, seriously, I take it back. Come on, man.
Yeah, you just got slayed out, Taylor. You have no health.
I got diamond armor.
You have no health. You
I'm
can't say
learning
anything.
Minecraft.
I'm
Let's
sitting
go,
right here.
baby.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
let's just. But to say the least, though, I am happy for this performance because, come on, seriously, Fire Breath Man, Player, a last-minute addition, not even added on, but still come through and get second place against the powerhouse teams that we have there. You got to be watching out next week for those two because, honestly, they're going to be playing equally as well. I got to do more research into those two players because clearly they're a solid duo, to say the least.
Right, and now we start to get into this part where there's a few teams that had stayed consistently together, right, when they hadn't gotten that win. They had, of course, our winners from this week, Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo, who'd been together for a couple of weeks. Ant Venom and Captain Sparkle's been together for a couple of weeks. And Jerome and Phil's as well been together a couple of weeks. So I wonder if they're going to allow Fire and Player to stay together. because now we have another round of
Sure.
teams to see which one of them will finally get that win before they get lost in the shuffle of all the players.
Fire and Techno. Fire and Techno. Could you imagine?
Would that be
Discourse-
your sleeper team that week?
Would oh, of course. Come on,
Oh my
seriously.
It
I
would
mean,
be.
like, do they
I don't
have
think
a
you know what the definition of sleeper team means. I really don't think you know what that means. I think you just think that's a team that's going to win. That's not the sleeper team.
No, I know what a sleeper
That
team
is your pick. That is your pick to
It's
win.
become a meme at this point.
It has. It has. Taylor's sleeper team is just whoever won last week, pretty much. And then everybody else who was in top 5.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. You're never
Top 5, my sleeper teams. I do want to see. Honestly, I just want to see how many points they can get. Fire Breath, Men, and Techno could probably break 2,000 points.
Oh, that's
In all-
very
in
that's
all
very
honesty.
favorable. Yeah, it's scary to think that that's actually an opportunity. But we have so many storylines coming in from week 5, which will be now later into to week number 6. There's so many conversations, so many storylines to kind of think about. But my goodness, I think week 5 was probably for me one of my favorites, based off of the fact of how we kind of put out the modes a little bit in terms of the way that things were adjusted. Each game was close. We constantly saw a shift, and our top 4 teams. I think at one point there were 3 different teams throughout Minecraft Monday who were leading and looked to be in a really good position to take it all. But like we said, it led to a lot of interesting moments. But kind of closing words here for what has been one of the most interesting weeks to date.
It definitely has. I think I say that every single week, but I mean
It really
more
is
so-
true, yeah.
No, it's true, but I mean it more so this week. I think this week was by far my favorite. I think the addition or removal of one of the layers on Spleef was great. I think 2 layers is absolutely perfect. I think the decay was worth it. Run from lava, I think, was pretty awesome to say the least, because the lava seemed a little bit slower this time, I have to say. So it's kind of a nice balance to see those players move through. But by far, Battle Arena was epic. I loved it. I don't think players were knowing, or they didn't realize how hard the zone was going to hit, because we're so used to those players kind of just hanging out in the zone, but not able to do that anymore because the zone would eliminate you quickly. But honestly, by far this week, definitely the best. I think the most evenly based competition we've seen so far. And I got to say, makes me even more excited for coming in for the next week of Minecraft Monday.
A lot of fun, again, like you said. And thank you to everyone who has come together to make this happen, and as well as refining it. We've said that it's been more exciting every week. That's by design. Every time we get a little bit better, like Taylor was saying, we make small adjustments to the different modes. We get new players. We create new combinations. And that is why this has been so much fun for us so far. I agree with everything you've said there, and I can't wait for the next week.
Yeah, absolutely right. I couldn't have said it any better. That's for sure. These two just labeled it out absolutely perfectly, like we talked about. We just want to give a massive thank you to everyone who's involved with this, for making it happen, from you guys, the viewers, to even guys like Keemstar, Beige Canadian, everyone who's kind of had a hand, a word in when it comes down to trying to fine tune these things, to the mods, everybody who makes this event possible. We want to give a massive thank you to you, because you do not get enough credit. That's for sure. But like we said, a massive thank you to Keemstar, massive thank you to you guys out there for watching, being a part, being lively in chat, letting us know your predictions, getting involved in social media, being involved in the chat as well. We're going to give a massive thank you to you guys for sticking with us throughout the entirety of Minecraft Monday as we head into what should be a pretty interesting week number 6. But for the entire team here at the UMG studio, for Taylor Reflections, Noble, 9-Hole Grains, I'm Landon Lando Sanders, signing off for the final time, saying thank you so much for watching this week, and we will see you all next time.